Chapter 2662. How Arrogant! Dozens of voices came from the crowd, as if they were dissatisfied with Ling Zhao's arrogance. Do you really think that you are invincible just because you killed the 8th prince and the 2nd prince? We are people who live on the edge of our blades. Those princes who grew up in a greenhouse can't compare to us. The bounty hunter leader added, Does this mean that you won't scram? If you don't scram, you will die. Ling Zhao had no intention of speaking nonsense. He raised his hand, and suddenly, the originally empty space was filled with flickering lightning. Terrifying thunder and lightning roared and descended. In an instant, only 4 or 5 of the hundreds of bounty hunters were left. These few were considered the strongest. They hadn't been blasted to death by the thunder and lightning and had survived. Submit to me, and I will give you a chance to live. What the 8 Immortal City lacked now was martialists. The 8 Immortal City really needed martialists at the first revolution Yin grade and the 10th level of hell. Although the previous poison pill had been neutralized, Ling Zhao had developed a new elixir pill. Besides him, no one else could neutralize this type of elixir pill. If the poison was forcibly neutralized, the person would die even if the poison was neutralized. To be honest, Ling Zhao still had to thank Qin Kanglin to a certain extent. If it hadn't been for Qin Kanglin, Ling Zhao might not have thought of enhancing these elixir pills. Even if I die, I won't. Before one of them could finish speaking, another thunderbolt descended and he was blasted to smithereens on the spot. There were 4 people left. Are you going to submit or not? I can't be bothered to waste time with you. Ling Zhao casually tossed out 4 elixir pills. He named these new elixir pills the Loyalty Elixir. These elixir pills had a special characteristic. As long as these people were truly loyal to Ling Zhao, the effects of the elixir would gradually dissipate and eventually disappear. Such a miraculous elixir pill had been refined by Ling Zhao by incorporating the medical knowledge from his memories. Even Yuan venerates were amazed. We are willing to submit to the 8 Immortal Kings. The 8 Immortal Kings were Ling Zhao's current title. They were the kings of the 8 Immortal Nation. The 4 of them swallowed the loyalty elixir pills. Very well, tell me your names. Ling Zhao looked at the 4 of them with satisfaction. Mo Tian, Mo Hai, Mo Qing, Mo Hong. Good name. Mo Tian, this heaven annihilation array will be managed by you in the future. Whoever dares to invade, blast them to your heart's content. Ling Zhao handed the heaven isolation array to Mo Tian, and he naturally wasn't afraid of Mo Tian betraying him. The loyalty pill was even more terrifying than the previous pills. Not only was it a physical threat, but it was also a mental pressure. Those whose soul power was not as strong as Ling Zhao's, and whose domineering aura was not as strong as the tyrannical martial spirit, had to obey. Yes, my lord. Since you've given me such a precious spell formation, I'll do my best. It didn't matter what Mo Tian was thinking right now. He had already started to subtly express his loyalty to Ling Zhao. Ling Zhao didn't have the time to train them. This loyalty pill was the best thing. The rest of you, come back with me first. Although the bounty hunters had been dealt with, Ling Zhao knew that there would be endless trouble ahead. The royal clan would never allow another kingdom to appear in their kingdom. The Volcano Kingdom was already enough to give them a headache. If another 8 Immortals' kingdom appeared, they would be in a terrible fix. Therefore, even if Ling Zhao didn't kill the 8th prince and Ji Hyun of Silla, they would still eliminate this kingdom as soon as possible. Ling Zhao couldn't stop cultivating, even though he knew that sharpening his blade at the last minute wouldn't be of much use. He didn't want to sit and wait for death. Are you afraid? Ling Zhao asked Yu Fanghua, who was seated beside him. Are you afraid? Yu Fanghua replied with a question. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of losing you. I'm afraid of losing my friends and family. Perhaps Ling Zhao would only show his weak side in front of Yu Fanghua. After all, he was still a human and had fear. However, he was a person who was adept at hiding and was also adept at turning fear into fighting spirit. With me around, I won't let you die. Yu Fanghua said after a moment of silence. You're still you. Ling Xiao looked at Yu Fanghua. They had the same appearance, the same beauty, the same power, and the same care for him. However, how could he let Yu Fanghua continue to take risks? No, from now on I'll protect you. I know I'm weaker than you, but I'll become stronger as soon as possible. In your previous life, you were willing to enter the 10 reincarnations for me. In this life, I won't let any harm come to you. Ling Xiao was very clear that if Yu Fanghua died again because of an accident in this life, then the 10 reincarnations would be forcibly interrupted, and Yu Fenghua's memory would be completely lost, and she would never remember him again. He couldn't afford to pay that price. Yu Fanghua was silent because she didn't know what to say to Ling Xiao. His concern and expression caught her off guard. Just as she was about to speak, a terrifying roar came from outside. It's the Sky Thunder Beast. Ling Xiao suddenly stood up. The state of Qin had 3 major armies. 7th Prince Qin Kangmeng's War Eagle Army, 14th Prince Qin Songxiong's War Eagle Army, and the Sky Thunder Army directly under the king. All the warriors in the Sky Thunder Army had the terrifying Sky Thunder Beast martial soul. They could use lightning abilities and terrifying lightning-type martial techniques. The true elites are here. Ling Xiao muttered to himself. Then he glanced at Yu Fanghua and said, Fanghua, you stay in the city. I'll be back soon. He was very excited and nervous. He was excited because there might be a great battle coming up. He was nervous because the opponent was very powerful. The Sky Thunder Army had 7 generals. They were called by the colors of the rainbow and thunder. For example, General Scarlet Thunder, General Orange Thunder, and so on. These 7 generals, each one of them was incomparably powerful. It was said that the higher the color, the more powerful they were. General Purple Thunder's cultivation was stronger than the patriarchs of the 7 major families, excluding the royal family. He was also an expert, second only to the Thunder Emperor, the Thunder Seigneur, and the 14th Prince. General Blue Thunder and General Blue Thunder's cultivation had reached the early stage of the 11th level of the Yin-Yang realm. The remaining 4 generals had reached the peak of the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm. They were all experts on the level of Ji Hyun of Silla and Qin Kanglin. This time, 4 of the 7 generals came. Ling Xiao didn't know who came, but he hoped that he wouldn't encounter the top 3 generals. Otherwise, it would be difficult to deal with them. However, the royal family really thought highly of him. It was the first time they attacked him with such a formation. Even when they surrounded the dragon cult, 4 of the 7 generals didn't appear at the same time. It was obvious that the royal family hated Ling Xiao to the core. Mo Tian, Mo Hai, Mo Qing, Mo Hong, Sister Ruoxian, Moon Death, Elder Water, Elder Moon, report the situation. Ling Xiao stood on the city wall and used his soul to send a message to the 8 formations of the 10 terminal formations. These 8 formations defended the 8 directions of the 8 immortal city and the 8 city gates. The remaining 2 formations were near the city gates and were used as a last resort. There are many enemies, and they are very strong. Chapter 2663. General Qilei is attacking the Earth Blaze formation. General Zhilei is attacking the Wind Howling formation. General Huang Lei is attacking the Ice formation. General Lu Lei is attacking the Golden Light formation. The experts of the Bo Yi clan are attacking the Blood Transformation formation. Although this person is not as strong as Bo Yi Qin, he is definitely the second most powerful person in the Bo Yi clan. His strength is close to the 11th level of hell of the Yin-Yang realm. All right, you all guard the formations. I will personally meet them. Ling Xiao sneered in his heart. These people really did not know the power of the 10 extremes formation. Since they were not afraid of death, he would play with them. Therefore, he came to the front of the Earth Blaze formation. The ones attacking the Earth Blaze formation were General Qilei and his thousands of soldiers. Although there were not many of them, they were all elites. You are Ling Xiao? General Chi Lei saw a young man suddenly appear in front of him. He had a heroic spirit. His whole body was emitting a dense killing intent. How could he dare to come to the front of the formation alone if he did not have true ability? That's right, it's me. Ling Xiao nodded and said, You are General Chi Lei of the Sky Thunder Corps. With your insignificant skills, you should leave quickly. Otherwise, you will die in vain. The royal family is only using you as cannon fodder. They do not dare to break my 10 extremes formation. But let trash like you do it. What a disgrace. How dare you look down on me, General Chi Lei? You are courting death. General Chi Lei angrily attacked Ling Xiao with a spear. The long spear was like purple lightning flying in the sky, flashing with thunder. It was very domineering. Ling Xiao sneered. This person was indeed strong. He felt that his battle strength was not weaker than Ji Hyun of Silla and Qin Kanglin, and he had rich battle experience. It would not be easy to take him down. Ling Xiao fought with him for 30 rounds and understood his foundation. He felt that his cultivation had stopped increasing. He felt that there was no point in continuing the battle. He sneered. General Chi Lei, my Earth Blaze formation has many changes and is full of doubts. The Earth Blaze formation is hidden in its mysteries. Thunder above and fire below are merciless. Even with the 5 elements immortal technique, it was difficult to escape the gloomy clouds of bone transformation. This formation was based on the numbers of the Taoist Tao. Hidden in the middle was a thick body. Hidden inside was a red banner. Wherever it was moved, thunder would roll above and fire would rise below. Once mortals and immortals entered this formation, there was no way they could come back to life. Even if they had the 5 elements technique, how could they escape from here? Do you dare to follow me in? With that, he turned around and stepped into the ardent earth array. General, this person probably can't beat you, so he's trying to mislead the crowd and put on an act. General Chi Lei's subordinate reminded him, That's right. I've been on the battlefield for decades, but I've never heard of such a formation. He is but a mere country bumpkin. How could he set up such a terrifying formation? Thinking of this, he no longer hesitated and led the soldiers into the ardent earth formation. Within the ardent earth formation, there was a devil sea guarding it. However, Mo Hai had never actually controlled the ardent earth formation before, so Ling Xiao had to cover it up for him. Seeing the enemy enter the formation, Ling Xiao stepped onto the platform and shook the 5 directions. Strange clouds rolled up from all directions and thunder roared. There was a fire shield above, and thunder and fire attacked from below and above. The poor General Chi Lei was bombarded by the thunder and fire and instantly turned into powder. Even his corpse was not left behind. The soldiers who followed him in were so scared that their faces changed drastically. They were terrified. The dignified General Chi Lei couldn't even withstand this attack. Wasn't this formation too terrifying? Kneel down and surrender, and I'll spare your lives. The reason why Ling Xiao killed General Chi Lei was that he knew that the 7 generals of the Heavenly Thunder Legion would never surrender. They were loyal dogs of the royal family. Even if they used the loyalty pills, it would be a waste. What's more, killing General Chi Lei was a deterrent to the others. It was much more effective than killing a few ordinary soldiers. Nearly half of the thousands of warriors chose to surrender and took the loyalty pills on the spot. As for the other half, they were killed by Ling Xiao on the spot. This was a battlefield. The enemy had no other choice but to surrender or die. Mo Hai, continue to guard. I'll go somewhere else. Ling Xiao handed the surrendered people to Mo Hai and then went to the front of the Howling Wind Formation. In front of the Howling Wind Formation was naturally General Orange Thunder. When General Orange Thunder saw Ling Xiao appear, he didn't answer. He waved the big knife in his hand and attacked Ling Xiao. He was straightforward. Ling Xiao didn't beat around the bush. He also fought with General Orange Thunder for 30 rounds. He felt that it was meaningless to continue fighting. He blocked the opponent's attack and said, The howling wind formation behind me is profound and mysterious. The weapon nest in the howling wind formation hides a mysterious net. If it hurts people, even if they have an immortal body, their muscles, bones, and flesh will be destroyed. This formation is based on the numbers of earth, water, fire, and wind. There's wind and fire inside. This wind and fire are innate chi, the true samadhi fire, and millions of weapons come out from it. If a human or a mortal enters this formation, the wind and fire will intertwine. The thousands of blades will gather, and their limbs will be turned into powder. I'm afraid that he has the ability to turn the sea and move the mountain, and his body will turn into pus. I advise you to surrender to me. Otherwise, you won't be able to escape. That General Red Thunder is your example. If I'm afraid of you, I'm not General Orange Thunder. This General Orange Thunder was a brute. He didn't even hesitate like General Red Thunder. Ling Xiao turned and entered the howling wind formation. He immediately chased after him. How would he know the endless mysteries of the formation? He only saw Ling Xiao go up the platform and shake black. The black wind rolled up and thousands of weapons came down. With a sound, General Orange Thunder's limbs were cut into pieces. He fell to the ground and died on the spot. Ling Xiao used the same trick again. There were many who surrendered, and those who didn't, he wouldn't be merciful. The result was as tragic as General Orange Thunder. After dealing with General Orange Thunder, Ling Xiao rushed to the cold ice formation again. The cold ice formation was called cold ice, a mountain of knives condensed. If a human immortal encountered this formation, even his skin and bones would be gone. This formation couldn't be cultivated in a day. It was called cold ice, but it was actually a mountain of knives. There were mysteries hidden inside. There was wind and thunder in the middle. There were icebergs like wolf fangs above, and ice cubes like swords below. If a human or a mortal entered this formation, their limbs would be turned into fine powder by the wind and thunder. Even if they had special techniques, they couldn't avoid this difficulty. The 10 ultimate formations each had their own uses. However, without exception, they were all very cruel. In front of the cold ice formation, General Yellow Thunder's character was different from the previous 2. He was extremely cunning. After 30 rounds with Ling Xiao retreated into the formation. He felt that his cultivation was about to improve again. However, General Yellow Thunder refused to enter the formation. He only sent his deputy to pursue him. Ling Xiao saw this and sneered, "What a despicable person. You sent your deputy to die. Deputy, leave quickly. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless when you die." The deputy was furious. "Arrogant brat, killing you is like slaughtering a dog or a chicken. There's no need for the general to do it himself." After saying this, he waved his sword and stabbed at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense with him. Since he wanted to die, he would just send him on his way. Arriving at the formation, he went up to the platform and shook the soap with his hand. There were icebergs above, like a mountain of knives knocking down. There were ice cubes below, like wolf fangs making their way up. No matter who you were, you would be turned into fine powder. Chapter 2664. Ling Xiao came out of the formation and threw the pile of flesh to General Huang Lei. "Your deputy is dead. Now it's your turn." General Huang Lei's expression changed. He said coldly, "If I don't enter your formation, what can you do to me? You're just relying on your formation. If you have the ability, don't come out for the rest of your life." "Humph. I really don't need a formation to kill you. I'm just showing you how powerful I am." Ling Xiao snorted coldly. His body suddenly enlarged, and he transformed into the purple, lightning bull beast soul. Then his body flashed, and he turned into a bolt of lightning, instantly attacking General Huang Lei. General Huang Lei had fought 30 rounds with Ling Xiao before, and thought that he was on par with Ling Xiao. However, this time before he could raise his weapon, he fell to the ground and died. His eyes were wide open on his head, as if he was still shocked by why he died. Ling Xiao kicked the corpse. Ling Xiao disliked this guy very much. Do you surrender? Ling Xiao looked at the 1,000 soldiers and said coldly, those who surrender will live. Those who don't surrender will die. Perhaps General Huang Lei had never been liked by these soldiers. Therefore, when he died, the soldiers showed excited expressions. This time, they all chose to surrender. Ling Xiao handed these surrendered soldiers to Mo Hong and then went to the Golden Light Formation. The one guarding the Golden Light Formation was Lin Ruoxian. The Golden Light Formation. Golden light flashed out of the mirror and shone on the body. Disaster was imminent. Even with the immortal mountain shifting technique, it would be difficult to escape this formation and lose one's life. This formation stole the essence of the sun and moon, and it hid the chi of heaven and earth. There were 21 mirrors in it, and each mirror was suspended on top of the pole. There was a set on each mirror. If a human or a mortal entered the formation and pulled up the set, thunder would shake the mirror. In just 1 or 2 turns, golden light would shoot out and shine on the body, turning it into pus and blood. Even if one could fly, it would be difficult to cross this formation. When Ling Xiao arrived at the Golden Light Array, he saw that General Green Thunder had already entered, so he followed him in. At this moment, Lin Ruoxian was already on the platform. There were 21 poles on the platform, and each pole had a mirror hanging from it. There was a set of mirrors on each side of the mirror. Lin Ruoxian pulled up the rope and a mirror appeared. He put his hand down and the sound of thunder rang out. The mirror vibrated and spun several times, releasing a golden light that shot towards the Green Thunder General. General Green Thunder was instantly reduced to ashes. His clothes and body were completely destroyed. Not even his corpse was left behind. Seeing this, Ling Xiao relaxed and immediately headed towards the Blood Transformation Array. The guardian of the Blood Conversion Array was Moon Death. However, his opponent was also the strongest of the 5 formation breakers. Therefore, it was really hard to predict who would win. Ling Xiao was still a little worried. As for the Blood Conversion Array, a violent wind swept up the black sand, and the heavens and the earth were devoid of light. No matter how hard you try to fill the sea, it will be difficult for you to return. This array used connate spiritual chi. There was wind and thunder in it, and it contained several pieces of black sand. However, when humans and immortals entered the array, the wind would sweep up the black sand, and some places would turn into blood. Even immortals would not be able to escape. Moreover, the Bo Yi family's expert was just a mortal. He was probably already dead. When he arrived at the Blood Conversion Array, he saw Moon Death sitting there helplessly. After asking, he found out that the Bo Yi family's expert had used his last breath to escape. It doesn't matter. Let him escape. At least after this battle, our 8 immortals' kingdom's reputation will soar. I have already tested the strength of this 10-terminal formation. It is definitely very strong. I believe that even a martial artist at the Yin-Yang realm's 11th level of hell in the first transformation would most likely die. Originally, he had used the 10-terminal formation to test its strength. Once he confirmed it, Ling Xiao had other things to do. No matter how strong the array was, it could only be used for defense. As long as others did not enter the array, they would not be afraid. Moreover, the stronger the array, the more energy it consumed. The 10-terminal formation had always been here, and it consumed a lot of resources. Ling Xiao had to consider going out for a while. However, before leaving the 8 Immortals Kingdom, he wanted to play big. The ghost prison of the 8 Immortals Mountain was rumored to be a supreme treasure of ancient times. It had always been used to imprison prisoners. It was unknown how many martial artists had died in this place. The terrifying energy that was brewing inside would benefit everyone greatly. Ling Xiao wanted to raise the cultivation of all the martial artists in the 8 Immortals County. It would increase the 8 Immortals Kingdom's combat strength. However, not everyone could withstand the terrifying pressure of the ghost prison. Therefore, Ling Xiao decided to use the ghost prison to set up a cultivation array. Anyway, with the 10-terminal formation outside, he was not afraid of the Chun Kingdom sending people to attack. He knew the Chun Kingdom's strength. Although he was definitely not a match for the Lightning Monarch, the Lightning Seigneur, and the 14th Prince, these people would definitely not dare to leave Thunder City. The reason was simple. The dragon cult had always been watching them. If they came out in full force, Thunder City would be taken down by the dragon cult in an instant. The reason why Ling Xiao dared to fall out with the Chun Kingdom at this time was precisely because of this. A day later, a sweet rain suddenly fell in the 8 Immortals County. Anyone who came into contact with this sweet rain could feel their cultivation growing crazily. At first, the martial artists were a little alarmed, thinking that they had encountered some strange phenomenon that would have negative effects on their bodies. However, the 8 Immortals Palace issued a notice, saying that this was a great array set up by the 8 Immortals King Ling Xiao, which could help everyone increase their cultivation speed. Therefore, during this period, everyone, including those who were in charge of the 10-terminal formation, began to cultivate. They cultivated while walking. They cultivated while working. When he was cultivating, he had to work even harder. Time passed day by day, and the cultivation of all the martial artists in the 8 Immortals County accelerated. This was especially true for those whose cultivation was relatively weak, such as the Martial Vein Realm or the Celestial Realm. Their cultivation speed was even faster, as if they were flying. Most martial artists' cultivation speed gradually slowed down after reaching the Grotto Heaven Realm. However, it was still much faster than before. If this was in the past, ordinary commoner martial artists or even lowly martial artists would be left far behind by the aristocratic families because they had all the resources. Even if they were geniuses, their cultivation speed would be slow. But now, the situation was completely different. Although they still lacked resources, the sweet rain was actually liquefied spirit chi, which was incomparably precious. It was even crazier than precious spirit pills and miraculous medicines. This caused the cultivation speed of these people to increase by leaps and bounds. Almost every day, there would be many people breaking through. And these young martial artists who had broken through only had one thought in their minds, and that was to serve the 8 Immortals King Ling Xiao and be loyal to him. They were different from the older generation. The older generation of martial artists were probably still fearful of the Chun Kingdom's royal family and were even blindly loyal. But the young people were different. They were originally very unfamiliar with the Chun Kingdom's royal family. Now that they had received such great benefits from Ling Xiao, they were naturally willing to go to the next level. Due to the protection of the Great Array, outsiders could not enter the 8 Immortals County at all. Chapter 2665. One had to know that the 4 generals of the Sky Thunder Legion had died in the 10-terminal formation. If the royal family wanted to send people to attack the 8 Immortals County, they would have to think twice. Ling Xiao did not care about this. What he was thinking about now was the increase in strength of the 8 Immortals County as a whole. 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, the Thunder Capital had sent many people to check on the situation in the 8 Immortals County. This time they only sent spies and did not dare to attack rashly. When these spies arrived outside the 8 Immortals County, they found that the city was still covered in rain, as if it would never stop raining. The trees around the 8 Immortals County had grown to dozens of meters tall. The entire city seemed to be about to disappear from the world. However, the aura of the entire city was getting stronger and stronger, causing people to be a little frightened. It was as if a terrifying giant beast was entrenched there without any flaws. The most shocking thing was that even the ordinary birds flying above the 8 Immortal City had turned into demons after being touched by the rain. They were incomparably powerful. The spies reported these things to the Thunder Capital. Not good. I think that Ling Xiao is up to something again. We can't let him do whatever he wants. Otherwise, the 8 Immortals County will only become stronger and stronger. The first to receive the spy's report was naturally the second in command of the Qin Nation, the Lightning Seigneur. The Thunder Monarch was still in seclusion and turned a deaf ear to what was happening outside. The Thunder Monarch and his special forces were a secret of the entire Qin nation. Apart from the Thunder Monarch and the Lightning Seigneur, even the princes did not know. Of course, the Lightning Seigneur did not believe the spy's words. Thus, he tore through the air and turned into a bolt of lightning, arriving outside the Eight Immortals County. Looking down from the sky, the Eight Immortals County was like a mysterious cultivation, holy land that made people's eyes red with envy. The Lightning Seigneur tried to approach the Eight Immortals County, but suddenly a huge monster emerged from the void. The monster's face could not be seen at a glance. Only its huge body could be seen entrenched in the clouds. The huge monster soared. The 10-terminal formation was instantly activated. Before the Lightning Seigneur could enter the formation, he was attacked by 10 attacks in the sky. He was quite strong and managed to dodge the 10 attacks. However, he was sent flying a few kilometers away by the giant beast's slap. He even destroyed a mountain. The Thunder Seigneur was scared witless. He knew that things were already out of control. In order to kill Ling Xiao, it was impossible to attack the Eight Immortal City. The only way was to lure Ling Xiao out and kill him. Contact Spectre Sect. The first thing the Thunder Venerable did when he returned to the Qin Kingdom was to find General Purple Thunder. General Purple Thunder was also a member of the royal family. Among the warriors of the Qin Kingdom, his strength was ranked 4th. Only the Thunder Monarch and the Thunder Seigneur knew that General Purple Thunder was also the general agent of the Demon Shadow Sect in the state of Qin. He was responsible for all the affairs of the Devil Shadow Sect in the state of Qin. In the past, the Eight Immortal Cities' Devil Shadow Sect branch had been annihilated by Ling Xiao alone. When the news spread to Thunder City, General Zi Lei was extremely furious. However, because the Shadow Devil Sect operated in secret, he could not openly deal with Ling Xiao. Furthermore, at that time he was leading an army to encircle the dragon cult, so he did not have the mood to do so. After all, to him, the dragon cult was far more of a threat than the insignificant Ling Xiao. At that time, Ling Xiao was just suffering from a scabby disease. He was not important at all. However, General Zi Lei did not expect that his initial underestimation would allow that insignificant person to grow to such a terrifying level. Not only had Xiao Chen killed the 8th prince and 2nd prince, but he had also killed Bo Yiqin. Just how strong was this kid? Even the General Zi Lei was somewhat afraid of him. In particular, Ling Xiao's ability to set up formations was something that no one in the entire state of Qin could contend with. It was too terrifying. Fortunately, he controlled the Spectre Sect. The disciples of the Spectre Sect were the most savage and terrifying group of people in the state of Qin. These people were lawless and took pride in building their happiness on the pain of others. Of course, the most important thing was that these people were not only evil but also talented. For example, there were a few people who were very adept at breaking spell formations. After hearing Seigneur Lightning's words, General Zi Lei sent 10 devil emissaries from the Spectre Sect to the Eight Immortals County to find a way to break the spell formation. They were confident that if they could break the 10 Ultimates formation, the Eight Immortals County would fall. After arriving at the Eight Immortals County, the 10 devil emissaries gathered on a mountain peak not too far from the county. Their robes whipped about in the wind, and they radiated murderous auras as they unleashed their blood-red energy, killing everything within dozens of kilometers of them. These people were definitely strong. They were not like the opponents Ling Xiao had faced in the past, which meant that Ling Xiao would have to be very careful in dealing with them. What's going on? Are the signs in the Eight Immortals County really the work of some puny Ling Xiao? Don't tell me he's not a life-sizer? That's impossible. There's not a single life-sizer in the state of Qin. How could the Eight Immortals County have one? What do you think, Emissary Blood Devil? This man, who is known as the Emissary Blood Devil, had long, blood-red hair that was particularly eye-catching. His eyes were the color of blood, and behind him floated a blood-red infant. Apparently that was his martial soul, but it was very strange. His cultivation base was in the Yin-Yang First Revolution, in the early 11th level of Hell. He was definitely not someone the generals of the Heavenly Thunder Legion could afford to provoke. "Are you afraid?" the emissary blood devil said with a cold laugh. "Even if there really is a life-sizer here, the 10 of us should be able to wipe out the 8 Immortals County. That brat killed many of our devil shadow sex people. He even killed this devil envoy's own son. If we don't kill him, how could I possibly face him in my dreams? How could I possibly protect the Spectre sect? That's right. Kill them all. Kill them all. Haha. Considering how strong we are, those trashy martial artists can't compare to us. If we want to, we could turn the 8 Immortals County into a living hell. But right now, the most important thing is to break the spell formation. If we can't, then there's no way we can get into the 8 Immortals County. I'm sorry, Exalted Ones, but we can't break the 10 Ultimates formation. The spell formation manuals don't contain any descriptions of it. How did he set it up? We have no idea. One of the disciples from the Spectre sect, who is skilled in spell formations, said, trembling in fear, "You bunch of trash. What do I need you for?" The emissary blood devil waved his hand, causing a terrifying blood energy to envelop the disciples. In the blink of an eye, the bodies of those pitiful fellows were completely corroded. In the end, only their skin was left, and even their bones were shattered. "Come on, let's head back to the Spectre sect. I heard that the Volcano Kingdom has people who are even better at breaking spell formations. If we want to kill Ling Xiao, we have to break the 10 Ultimates formation first. Otherwise, it'll be very troublesome." Chapter 2666. The Blood Demon Envoy said, "Let's retreat. In any case, the 8 Immortal City is under the surveillance of the Chen Nation's royal family. I don't believe that those people can hide in the city forever. As long as they come out, our chance will come. Using a hidden arrow to break an open spear, they are dead for sure." With that, the Blood Demon Envoy stepped into the air and left. Although he was unwilling, the terrifying hatred he released was definitely not fake. He would definitely come to kill Ling Xiao, not only because he was one of the 10 demon envoys of the Chen Nation's Demon Shadow Sect, but also because the demon envoy that Ling Xiao killed was his favorite son. His son was killed. This grudge could not be easily forgotten. In the blink of an eye, the 10 demon envoys disappeared as if they had never appeared outside the 8 Immortal City. Just like that, a month passed. The changes in the 8 Immortal City were even more obvious. Even the entire city had undergone some changes. The entire city seemed to have its own soul. It could repair itself and become stronger. Its defense was much stronger than before. The ordinary weapons that were originally held by the soldiers had become spirit artifacts. The strongest one had become an immortal-grade spirit artifact. This was simply a miracle of nature. The rain gradually stopped. However, the spirit energy in the entire 8 Immortal City was at least 100 times denser than before. Everyone felt like they were dreaming. Over the past month, even if they were sleeping, they were still cultivating. Even those who were usually incomparably lazy actually benefited from it. A large number of Yin-Yang realm cultivators were born. There were also many First Revolution cultivators. For example, Haim Myung-Ko. In this month, not only did she start to reincarnate, but she also raised her cultivation to the first level of the Yin-Yang realm. This sounded very weak. But to cultivate to this level in a month, if not for this rain, if not for the spirit pills that Ling Xiao gave her, she definitely would not have been able to do it. This was the principle of the future generation enjoying the shade. Ling Xiao would work hard to make himself stronger and then lead the entire Heavenly Dynasty Empire's cultivators to become stronger. Although some people's talent was limited, at least a portion of them could gradually keep up with his pace and not be completely left behind. Because of the concentration of the sweet rain, the density of the spiritual energy would become weaker from the inside out. Gan Lin, who was located in the 8 Immortal King's palace, was the strongest. Therefore, the cultivation speed here was also the fastest. Ling Xiao asked his most trusted family and friends to stay here and cultivate with him. As a result, their strength also increased as if they were sitting on a flying sword. Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death were originally very strong. Now they had both broken through to the early stage of the 10th level of hell. This kind of cultivation speed was simply impossible in the past. As for Lin Yang, Cheng Feiying, and the others, they had all raised their cultivation to the 8th level of the Yin-Yang realm. They were second only to Lin Ruoxian and Moon Death. Sire Shui, the elders of the Yu clan, and the patriarch of the Yu clan had also improved greatly. His cultivation had also reached the 8th level of hell in the first revolution of the Yin-Yang realm. Perhaps in the eyes of outsiders, such a situation could only be described as crazy and impossible. But if one thought about it carefully, it would be understandable. In the 8 Immortal Kings' palace, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth was condensed to the extreme. It was even stronger than in the extreme royal mystic realm. It would be a joke if a few martial artists of the first revolution of the Yin-Yang realm could not be born. It would be a waste of Ling Zhao's efforts. Of course, that wasn't all. The Imperial Army and the City Defense Army of the 8 Immortals Kingdom also obtained great benefits from the rain. Although the rain had stopped now, the abundance of spiritual qi was still not reduced. In the future, the 8 Immortals County would not lose to the soldier grade and general grade areas of the extreme royal mystic realm. It was a little different from the monarch grade areas. As for the untouchable areas, Ling Xiao had not been there, so it was difficult for him to have any direct impressions. Elder Shui, you are still the city lord of the 8 Immortals County. In the future, I will have to rely on you to manage everything. Elder you have to help. The next main task is to count the martial artists of the 8 Immortals County who have broken through this time. Ling Xiao also slowly opened his eyes. If others could benefit from it, he would naturally benefit as well. His cultivation had advanced from the middle stage of the first revolution of the Yin-Yang realm's 10th level to the late stage of the 10th level. It seemed like only a 2-stage increase, but to Ling Xiao his combat strength had increased by 100 times. The opponents that he used to be very afraid of were no longer so scary in his eyes. Although it would still be very difficult to face a first revolution of the Yin-Yang realm's 11th level, he could at least protect himself. But at the very least, he was not without any power to protect himself and could only rely on Yu Fenghua's help. Speaking of Yu Fenghua, she seemed very happy. He wondered if she had also broken through. Ling Xiao did not ask, and Yu Fenghua did not say anything. The two of them maintained a tacit understanding. After his cultivation increased, Ling Xiao strengthened the 10-terminal formation again. The current 10-terminal formation was definitely 10 times stronger than before. If the Chun Nation's royal family knew that they had missed such a good opportunity to attack the 8 Immortals County, they would probably die of anger. One had to know that the current 8 Immortals County was filled with killing intent, not to mention sneaking in. Even a malicious mosquito would be killed immediately if it flew in. The current 8 Immortals County was absolutely impregnable, so Ling Xiao was no longer worried about this place. He planned to leave. Since the Chun Nation's royal family was unwilling to take the initiative to attack, he would attack first. In any case, he would become enemies with these people sooner or later. Ling Xiao, I need to leave you for a while. Just as Ling Xiao was about to take the initiative to attack, Yu Fenghua proposed to leave. However, Ling Xiao did not plan to rely on Yu Fenghua's strength to wipe out the royal family. Otherwise, he would have done so back in Thunder City. He was just a little curious as to why Yu Fenghua would choose to leave at this time. You also know that almost every sect, the disciples who go out to gain experience have to return to the sect to participate in the assessment every once in a while. As a disciple of the Immortal Palace, I absolutely cannot miss this opportunity. However, you can rest assured that I will definitely return in a month or 3 months at most. Yu Fenghua did not know why she was so worried about Ling Zhao's opinion and why she had to explain. In short, she could feel that when she was with Ling Xiao, she was especially relaxed and comfortable. If that's the case, then I won't stop you. You have your Jianghu and I have mine. I only hope that one day I can truly stand on the same level as you. You must be safe. Ling Xiao did not want Yufanghua to leave because he was worried that Yufanghua would be in danger. However, if he carefully protected her like a flower vase, would she really be able to thrive? Chapter 2667. To be honest, Yufanghua was much stronger than Ling Xiao. Even if he had to worry, he should be worried about himself. It's the same for you. The Chen Kingdom's royal family hates you to the bone. Once you go out, you will definitely be surrounded by them. You must be careful. Yufanghua was also reluctant to leave. However, she also knew that if she didn't go back, she wouldn't be able to continue becoming stronger. If she couldn't continue becoming stronger, she wouldn't be able to protect Ling Xiao. After watching Yufanghua leave the 8 immortal city, Ling Xiao and Xiao Jin also set off. The huge golden crow soared into the sky and accelerated through the void like a phantom. In the eyes of ordinary people, it was just a ball of fire flying through the sky. However, only the truly powerful martial artists could see that it was a terrifying golden crow that possessed the terrifying flames of the sun that could destroy everything. "Boss, where are we going?" Xiao Jin asked. "Of course we're going to Thunder City. Do the 8 great families really think that I, Ling Xiao, am a coward? They came to attack my 8 immortal city and couldn't take it down, so they gave up. Did they really think that was the end? What a joke!" Ling Xiao sneered. He came back this time to cause trouble. Although he wasn't a match for the Thunder Monarch, the Lightning Seigneur, and the 14th Prince, Ling Xiao wasn't afraid of the others. "Since you can provoke me, I can deal with you." In any case, although Thunder City was protected by a formation, it was definitely not as strong as his 8 immortal cities' 10-terminal formation. Moreover, no one would have thought that Ling Xiao would openly go to Thunder City for revenge. His plan was very clear. The first step was to go to Jihyun of Silla's residence and obtain the 9 Nether Yellow Springs Golden Crow's remnant soul. This way, Xiao Jin's strength could continue to increase. Next, it was to exterminate the Bo Yi family. In any case, the Bo Yi family was already like fire and water with him. Moreover, they had repeatedly attacked the 8 immortal city. If he didn't exterminate this family, it would always be a hidden danger. Of course, Ling Xiao didn't know that General Purple Thunder had used the power of the Spectre sect to deal with him. Right now, the 10 demon envoys of the Chun State's Demon Shadow sect were all within the Thunder capital, waiting for an opportunity to deal with him. Perhaps he really had to make some adjustments to his plan. On the way to Thunder City, Ling Xiao was thinking about the battles he might encounter next. His current cultivation was at the late stage of the 10th level of Hell in the first revolution of the Yin-Yang realm, facing a martial artist at the pinnacle of the 10th level of Hell. He could basically crush them. He could even defeat a first revolution Yin-Yang realm martial artist who was at the early stage of the 11th level of Hell. The troublesome part was the mid-stage of the 11th level and beyond. He probably wasn't a match for him. Little Gold was similar to him. However, he wasn't worried at all. Ever since Ling Yan had fused with his avatar and turned into the Golden Crow, not only had his strength increased greatly, but his speed had also increased tremendously. Even he was not as fast as Xiao Jin. If they wanted to escape, no one in the state of Chun would be able to stop them. Furthermore, in the past month, Ling Xiao had already cultivated the Dark Shadow Sword Demon to the Great Perfection Realm. Its power had increased greatly. So even if he really encountered a mid-stage Yin-Yang realm martial artist at the first revolution of the 11th level of Hell, he wouldn't be completely helpless. In addition, the spiritual lightning shield had also been cultivated to the Great Perfection Realm. If it was a martial technique below the first level of the immortal grade, it would be a little difficult to injure him. There was also the Heavenly Thunder Divine Guard. Perhaps no one would have thought that he would be able to cultivate this second level of the immortal grade martial technique to the Great Perfection Realm with his current cultivation. He could have 8 Heavenly Thunder Divine Guards, each of which had 80% of his fighting strength. This was absolutely terrifying. 80% of his fighting strength was equivalent to a martialist at the peak of the 10th level of hell in the first revolution of the Yin-Yang realm. This was under the circumstances that he didn't have any magic treasures. In addition, the interval between the release of the Heavenly Thunder Divine Guards had also increased from 1 day to 1 hour. This greatly increased the practicality of the Heavenly Thunder Divine Guards. Otherwise, he still had the tyrannical Sky Martial Soul, the Butterfly Lady, and Yuan Venerate. These were all his trump cards. Therefore, he wasn't a reckless person. If he didn't have any life-saving skills, he wouldn't foolishly run out to die. When he was still 1,000 meters away from the Thunder City, Ling Xiao ordered Xiao Jin to land. Xiao Jin turned into a palm-sized golden bird and stood on his shoulder. He used the Yin-Yang Demon King's transformation ability to transform his entire body. Under such circumstances, even an acquaintance wouldn't be able to recognize him. When entering the Thunder City, they had to undergo a strict inspection. However, what could those soldiers who were guarding the city find out? Ling Xiao successfully passed the inspection and entered the Thunder City. Boss, before going to the Ji Hyun of Silla residence, why don't we go and find out some information first? If the Ji Hyun of Silla residence is a trap, we'll be in trouble. Xiao Jin reminded. That's true, but who knows the situation of the Ji Hyun of Silla residence? Ling Xiao asked. Boss, you haven't been in the Thunder City for long, so you don't know. In fact, the Thunder City is not only the capital of the Qin country, but also an international market. Merchants and warriors from other countries will stay here and even do business. In the Thunder City, there is a volcano house opened by the people of the volcano country. This volcano house can not only buy and sell rare and precious items, but also any information. This includes the situation of the Black Tortoise Continent's western region. The volcano house even made a volcano warrior list for the warriors of the Qin country. They are very familiar with the people on the list. In addition, there is a volcano evil list. This list is not ranked by strength, but by the degree of evil. Why don't we go take a look and find out some information? Xiao Jin had lived in the Thunder City for a long time, so he knew more about this than Ling Xiao. This volcano house was clearly opened by the people of the volcano country, but it was safe and sound in the Qin country. It seemed that its background was not small. Perhaps the volcano house was related to the Chun country's royal family. Since that was the case, it was even more important to take a look. If it was really related to the royal family, Ling Xiao did not mind tearing it down. He was here to cause trouble, so he naturally had to make a big deal out of it. Otherwise, how could he be worthy of coming here and taking risks? With a destination in mind, Ling Xiao went straight to the volcano house under Xiao Jin's guidance. The Thunder City was very big, and there were many landmark buildings. However, the volcano house was definitely the most special one. From afar, one could see a huge building with sinister edges rising into the sky. Moreover, the volcano house burned with a strange flame all year round. Those who entered the volcano house would not be safe and sound if they did not have the fire avoidance talisman given by the volcano house. And one fire avoidance talisman cost 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. These guys really knew how to make money. Arriving in front of the volcano house, Ling Xiao discovered that the guards at the door were all at the peak of the 9th layer of hell. Chapter 2668. Ling Xiao didn't know that there was such a powerful place in Thunder City. Even the gatekeeper was at the first revolution of the 9th level of hell, so the owner of this place should be even stronger. But what was there to be afraid of now? Stop, don't you know the rules? Ling Xiao walked directly into the volcano tower with Xiao Jin, but was stopped by the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper took out 2 fire avoidance talismans and said, 1 human and 1 beast, 100,000 low-grade spirit stones each. Thank you, but I don't need it. Ling Xiao waved his hand and continued to walk inside. The gatekeeper of the volcano tower didn't say anything, but his eyes flashed with disdain and schadenfreude. If you don't buy the fire avoidance talisman, just wait for death. He thought to himself. The passers-by also began to discuss. I'm afraid you're an idiot from outside the city. Don't you know how terrifying the volcano tower is? You're just taking the fire-repelling talisman. Humph, this kind of idiot, the sooner he dies, the sooner he can be reincarnated. However, in the midst of the discussion, Ling Xiao and Shai Jin smoothly and safely walked into the volcano tower. For a moment, the discussion came to an abrupt end. Instead, they were all dumbfounded. In the midst of their dumbfounded gazes, Ling Xiao had already arrived at the volcano tower. He went straight to the person in charge of selling information. This servant is Xiao Huan. May I ask what kind of information young master wants to buy? The person in charge of receiving Ling Xiao was a pretty girl from a humble family, and her voice was very sweet. It seemed that the service attitude was really good. Xiao Huan brought Ling Xiao to a small room with very good sound insulation. The room was only about 5 square meters, but it was obviously enough for a transaction. I want to inquire about information about the royal family. Do you have it? Ling Xiao asked straightforwardly. Xiao Huan was a little stunned, but immediately smiled and said, Of course there's no problem, but the price will be more expensive. How much? Ling Xiao asked. That depends on who the royal family is. Xiao Huan said again. What if it's about Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence? A sliver of surprise flashed through Xiao Huan's eyes when she heard that, but she quickly covered it up. She smiled. Ji Hyun of Scylla is as famous as the war prince. Although we don't know if he's dead or alive right now, news about him is worth at least 10 million low-grade spiritual stones. Very well. As long as the information is reliable, these are yours. Ling Xiao casually placed a storage ring on the table. Inside the storage ring, there were 10 million low-grade spiritual stones. Young master, please wait for a moment. This servant will go and find our second pavilion master. I can't make the decision for a transaction of this level. Xiao Huan said hurriedly. Sure. Ling Xiao nodded. After waiting for a while, the door was pushed open. Other than Xiao Huan, there was another person who was dressed very luxuriously and looked very rich. His strength was even more powerful. He was probably the second floor master that Xiao Huan had mentioned. This is our second floor master. If there's any transaction, just let him know. I'll take my leave first. When the second floor master entered, he immediately saw the golden bird standing on Ling Xiao's shoulder. He was a person who loved to collect rare treasures. He had never seen such a golden bird before, so he was instantly interested in it. On the other hand, he did not even look at the 10 million low-grade spiritual stones. Young master, you want to find out about Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence. The second floor master's eyes were fixed on Xiao Jin, and he did not even look at Ling Xiao. That's right. I want to know what's the situation in Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence. Ling Xiao asked. Our volcano house naturally knows about this, but why do you want to find out about this? The second floor master finally looked at Ling Xiao, but his eyes were filled with vigilance and coldness. Is this how the volcano house does business? Can't I buy things if I don't tell you the reason? Ling Xiao asked. That's not it. It's just that this information is of great importance, so I have to be careful. By the way, is it possible for young master to use the golden bird on your shoulder as a reward for buying this information? The second floor master suddenly asked. That's impossible. Ling Xiao shook his head. I can buy it at a high price. Not only will I tell you what you want to know, but I can also give you another 100 million low-grade spiritual stones. The second floor master said again, Would you sell your brother? Ling Xiao frowned. Xiao Jin is not a bird, it's my brother. I see. The second floor master smiled, but there was a hint of viciousness at the corner of his mouth. There was someone who dared to not give him face. He was very unhappy. However, in the volcano house, it would be too much to rob him, and it would ruin the reputation of the volcano house. Furthermore, he did not know his opponent's strength, so it was better to be careful. How about this? Wait a moment. I'll go and ask my elder brother. If he agrees to sell the information to you, this deal will be done. After all, the information you want is of great importance, and I can't make the decision on my own." The second-floor master stood up and said, "This time, I hope you can find someone who can make the decision. Don't let me continue to sit here." Ling Xiao's face was a little unhappy. The second-floor master's way of doing things really made him unhappy. Even if he could not get things done in one go, he should not go through so much trouble like this. "Young master, please don't be angry. Please wait a moment." The second-floor master turned and left the room. "Boss, the way that guy looks at me really pisses me off." Xiao Jin barked a few times in annoyance, and then sent a message with his soul. "Yes, it does. How do you want me to teach him a lesson?" Ling Xiao asked with a smile. "There's no need to teach him a lesson. I'm just worried that these guys will have bad intentions." Xiao Jin reminded. "That's good." Ling Xiao said indifferently, "I can't wait for them to have bad intentions. That way, I'll have a reason to cause trouble. Otherwise, I won't be able to do it." At the same time, the second-floor master had already taken the ladder to the highest floor of the volcano tower. The highest floor was completely made of crystal. It was protected by layers of formations. From inside, one could see the entire Thunder Capital. However, the people outside could not see what was going on inside. At this moment, there were 3 people in the attic on the top floor. One of them was the first-floor master of the volcano tower. The other 2 were General Qing Lei of the Sky Thunder Corps and Blood Demon Envoy, one of the 10 demon envoys of the Phantom Sect. After the second-floor master reported, he entered the room. "Elder brother, someone wants to buy the information, but I can't make the decision." "What information? You can't make the decision?" When the 2 of them were talking, they did not treat General Qing Lei and Blood Demon Envoy as outsiders. Obviously, there was some kind of connection between them. "What information? You can't make the decision?" The first-floor master frowned. "It's information about the Ji Hyun of Silla residence." The second-floor master looked at General Qing Lei and Blood Demon Envoy and said solemnly. As expected, the moment he said that, the few people in the room became serious. "What's going on? Who wants to buy the information about the Ji Hyun of Silla residence?" Chapter 2669. Why are you so agitated? General Qing Lei was puzzled. "He's here. It must be him. Ha, what guts! What an arrogant brat. He actually dares to come to the enemy camp alone. This Ling Xiao is indeed worthy of being the brat that even the royal family of the Chen nation has a hard time dealing with." The Blood Demon Envoy did not reply. Instead, he laughed loudly. "Blood Demon Envoy, you must be joking. Even if that Ling Xiao is 100 times more courageous, facing the wrath of the Thunder Seigneur, he can only hide in the 8 immortal city and rely on the 10 terminal array to survive. How dare he come to the Thunder City?" General Qing Lei did not believe it. The first house master did not believe it either. The second house master found it even more unbelievable. "It's fine if you don't believe it. Bring me to kill him and we'll know the truth." The Blood Demon Envoy stood up and sneered. "What if we kill the wrong person?" The first house master asked. "So be it. We'd rather kill 10,000 by mistake than let one person go. This is how the Devil's Shadow sect does things." The Blood Demon Envoy sneered. "Haha, as expected of the Devil's Shadow sect. However, it's not good to make a move in the volcano tower. It will ruin the reputation of the volcano tower." The first house master laughed. "You want to stop me?" The Blood Demon Envoy's eyes flashed coldly, showing signs of wanting to attack. Blood Demon Envoy, we're all on the same side. "Why would I stop you? I just want you to go somewhere else." The first tower master said indifferently, "After leaving this volcano tower, it is no longer our business who killed him or who killed him. By the way, second house master, take the spirit stone. That guy is already dead. It would be a waste to not take the spirit stone." "Haha, big brother, don't worry. I know what to do. The second house master sneered. The first house master's actions were exactly what he wanted. Then he looked at the blood demon envoy and said, Blood demon envoy, that brat has a golden bird. Don't kill it. I want it very much. Don't worry. Kill him and the bird is yours. The blood demon envoy was not interested in the golden bird. However, the volcano tower is despicable. You took his money, but not only did you not do it, you even want to sell his life to me? Despicable? Everyone was the same. Who asked that brat to be an idiot? If he was Ling Xiao, it would be perfect to kill him. If he wasn't, then this kid could only blame himself for being too stupid. He actually dared to directly purchase information about Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence. Humph, just pass the news to him. But we can't control what happens when he goes to Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence. The great tower master did not feel that the word despicable was derogatory at all. Looking at his expression, he seemed to be rather pleased with himself. They are all cunning old foxes. General Qing Lei looked at this scene and couldn't help but laugh. Others only know that the volcano tower was opened by the volcano country people. But he didn't know that the volcano tower was actually an intelligence agency used by the 14th prince to gather information. Great Tower Master, with your meritorious service this time, I'm afraid that the 14th prince will put you in an important position in the future. All right, let's not boast about each other anymore. Let's do our own thing. The blood demon envoy sneered and said, I'll go to Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence and lay in ambush. Then he turned and left. I'll also report to the Thunder Sage. If that boy is really Ling Xiao, we'll do our best to capture him. General Qing Lei also turned and left. A moment later, the second tower master returned to Ling Xiao's small room and said with a smile, We're going to sell the information you wanted to buy. Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence has now become a deserted residence. Those people in the residence were sent to the border because they failed to protect Ji Hyun of Scylla. The residence has been sealed off, and no one is allowed to enter. Those who enter without permission will be sentenced to death. Thank you. Ling Xiao was satisfied with this news, but he was puzzled. Where did Tu Shanmin go with Ji Hyun of Scylla's body? But even so, he still got up and left. Take care, young master. The second tower master personally sent Ling Xiao out of the volcano tower, but his eyes were fixed on Xiao Jin. Hey, baby, wait for a while. Soon you'll be mine. As for that boy, it doesn't matter whether he's Ling Xiao or not, because he'll be dead soon. Watching Ling Xiao leave, the second tower master sneered in his heart. Ling Xiao went out of the volcano tower and came to a restaurant near Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence. It was on a higher ground, so it was convenient for him to observe the residence. What's wrong, boss? Do you think something's wrong? Xiao Jin asked. Humph. I've always thought there was something wrong with the volcano tower. This time, it's confirmed my opinion. The second tower master sneered and said, There's an ambush in Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence, and these breaths obviously didn't exist for long. They arrived before us. This means that the volcano tower betrayed us and even dared to take our money. What should we do, boss? Don't we go? Xiao Jin asked. Don't go? Since we're here, how can we not go? Although they have an ambush, it's definitely not perfect because it was hastily prepared. We have to cut the Gordian knot. As for the volcano tower, let's wait and see. After dealing with this matter, I'll let them die. Ling Xiao sneered, went down the restaurant, and went straight to Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence. He didn't know who was ambushing him, but it was definitely an enemy. Anyway, he had already decided to make a big scene in Thunder City. Let's start with these people first. Using himself as bait to catch fish, he definitely wouldn't be disappointed. After entering Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence, Ling Xiao didn't attack the ambushers, but went to the entrance of the secret underground chamber. His main purpose in coming to Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence was the remnant soul of the 9 Nether Yellow Springs Golden Crow. With that item, his trip to Thunder City would definitely be much safer. After all, Xiao Jin could become stronger. The entrance of the secret chamber was easy to find, but the array on the door of the secret chamber wasn't easy to break. Ling Xiao handed this matter over to his master, Yuan Venerate. After all, he had sensed an enemy attack. Dozens of black shadows appeared from every corner and completely sealed off his escape route. The air was filled with the thick smell of blood. Ling Xiao couldn't be more familiar with this smell. Demon Shadow Sect? Are you people from Thunder City's Demon Shadow Sect? Ling Xiao didn't have a good impression of an organization like the Demon Shadow Sect. Even if he didn't have any enmity with them, he would still eradicate them. Furthermore, the other party actually wanted to kill him. Kid, you have good eyesight. I'm the Blood Demon Envoy, ranked 3rd among the 10 demon envoys of Thunder City's Demon Shadow Sect. You're dead for sure now that you've met me, kid. The Blood Demon Envoy said coldly, Do you still remember the demon envoy you killed in the 8 Immortal City? He was my son. Today I must avenge him. Initial stage of the 11th level of Hell at the Yin-Yang First Revolution? Ling Xiao furrowed his brows. This fellow's strength really surprised him a little. Chapter 2670. Oh, you're talking about that arrogant trash? That's right, I killed him. It seems like father, like son. You and your son are both trash. Ling Xiao said disdainfully, Blood Demon Envoy, this kid is courting death. Show him who's boss, and he'll understand. Someone next to him said, Who the hell are you? Ling Xiao asked, I'm Poison Demon Envoy. I'm ranked 10th among all the envoys. That person said, Hee, the trash at the bottom. Don't interrupt. Ling Xiao didn't care about Poison Demon Envoy at all, because he was only at the pinnacle of level 10 of Hell in Yin-Yang Realm. If it was in the past, he would be worried. But now, this guy could only be crushed to death in front of him. Ling Xiao suddenly looked at the poison emissary. This person was actually releasing poisonous energy. However, when this highly toxic qi approached the surface of his body, it would be completely dispelled by a layer of strange flames. Not even a trace of it was left. As for Xiao Jin, he didn't have to worry about it. With the devouring demon fetus as his body and the help of the 9 nether yellow springs, Golden Crow's remnant soul, he was invincible. His body was basically impervious to all poisons. Kid, you can actually defend against my poisonous energy. You're quite capable. But do you think you won't have to die? I haven't used the source of poison yet. Because you're still alive, I still have a few questions to answer. Are you Ling Xiao or not? Poison Demon Envoy asked coldly. Hearing this, Ling Xiao immediately understood that these people weren't just here to avenge the Blood Demon Envoy son. Didn't I tell you before whether I'm Ling Xiao or not? You can't tell, so don't ask. Ling Xiao had just admitted that he killed the Blood Demon Envoy son, which was equivalent to indirectly admitting his identity as Ling Xiao. It was ridiculous that the other party didn't realize it. Without waiting for Poison Demon Envoy to say anything, Ling Xiao continued, It was the Volcano Tower who leaked the news of my arrival to you, right? Also, who exactly do you belong to? Who is the Grand Deacon of Thunder City? Hee, you little brat, you're the real idiot. The Poison Devil seemed to have found an opportunity to make fun of Ling Xiao. He sneered and said, The Volcano House belongs to the 14th Prince. You actually went there to buy information about Ji Hyun of Scylla's mansion. Do you know what this is called? This was called walking right into a trap. Now, it's best to surrender and come with us to the 14th Prince. You might have a chance to survive. Otherwise, you will be killed without mercy. You can try, Ling Xiao said indifferently. How dare you? The poison demon was constantly being looked down upon by Ling Xiao. As one of the 10 demon envoys, this caused him to be in an extremely bad mood. After all, he was originally ranked last, so he felt a little inferior. Now, Ling Xiao was pointing at his sore spot and scolding him. She even said that he was brainless. How could he endure this? He shouted, Blood Demon Envoy, I'll capture this bastard alive. After saying that, he took out a strange magic wand. On top of the wand, there were 9 heads of poisonous snakes. It looked strange and eerie. Kid, this 9-snake wand loves to drink human blood. You will be its next prey. After saying that, he was about to make his move when he suddenly screamed. Ah! The screams were especially ear-piercing in the middle of the night. At this moment, the poison demon did not expect that he would fall into Ling Xiao's hands before he could make his move. Ling Xiao easily caught him with a speed that was hard to see with the naked eye. With his neck being gripped, his screams were a little shrill. At that moment, he was extremely terrified. This was because he could feel that if Ling Xiao tightened his grip, his life would immediately bid farewell to him. Ling Xiao's injury suddenly released scorching hot lava that was constantly burning the poison demon's body. No. Ah! The poison demon let out an earth-shattering scream. He could even feel that his internal organs were being melted by the lava. He could feel the terrifying pain all too clearly. My internal organs. Don't. He desperately released all his internal energy in an attempt to break free and escape from Ling Xiao's hands. After all, he was a martial artist at level 10 of Hell in the Yin-Yang realm. Even if most of his internal organs were destroyed, he would not die completely. As long as he could escape, there was still a chance of survival, and the possibility was very high. Don't make any unnecessary struggles. Ling Xiao looked coldly at the poison demon in his hands and said, "From the moment you targeted me, it meant that you were dead for sure." After saying that, even more terrifying lava filled the poison demon's body. The poison demon's body completely melted from the outside to the inside, turning into a pile of dried blood. What bullsh! T10 demon envoys. I said that you are trash, and you are indeed trash. Since you are here today, then this king will destroy you first, and then destroy that volcano tower. I will let them know the consequences of not following business ethics. Ling Xiao looked coldly at the blood demon envoy. The blood demon envoy was definitely much stronger than the poison demon envoy. However, Ling Xiao was still fearless. What's going on? He was killed in an instant. The blood demon envoy was originally full of confidence, but at this moment his heart was in his mouth. What a joke! From the moment Ling Xiao captured the poison demon envoy to the moment the poison demon envoy was killed, it was impossible for him to save the poison demon envoy. Moreover, he could feel that the golden bird standing on Ling Xiao's shoulder had an aura that made him extremely wary. Could it be that she had miscalculated this time? After all, even he would need 2 or 3 moves to defeat the poison demon envoy. If he wanted to kill the poison demon envoy, it would be impossible without 10 moves. Didn't this mean that Ling Xiao was stronger than him? Moreover, the poison demon envoy was completely melted into a pool of blood. He had heard of such a terrifying ability, but he had never seen it before. This guy is too tough. Immediately set up the 8 gates blood formation. I will deal with him personally. The blood demon envoy was not confident enough, so he knew that he had to use the 8 gates blood formation to weaken Ling Xiao's strength. This way, it would be easier to deal with him. They must have practiced the 8 gates blood formation countless times, so they were able to set it up very quickly. It was completed in an instant. Kill! The blood demon emissary roared. His aura exploded, and a huge shadow condensed behind him. This shadow looked like the vampiric demon of the demonic realm, and it was extremely special. The vampiric demon gave off an extremely powerful evil aura. It had a white face, fangs, and a pair of black wings. It looked like a huge bat. As his martial soul took shape, the blood demon envoy took a step forward and slapped down on Ling Xiao's head. At that moment, heaven and earth shook, and the sky cried out. It was as if the earth was about to split open. Blood Demon Palm. Chapter 2671. The blood demon emissary attacked Ling Xiao with his blood fiend, heavenly demon palm. At that moment, the surrounding air turned completely red. The blood demon emissary seemed to want to turn the entire world into his blood fiend world. At the same time, the other experts of the Demon Shadow sect started to operate the 8 gates blood fiend array. Many of the formation flags were displayed. There were many strange symbols on the flag, as well as some terrifying images. Blood-sucking demon, blood zombie, leech demon, mosquito demon. When the array flags were raised, they released an even more powerful blood aura. Just by breathing in, one would be able to smell the blood. It was very nauseating. The blood aura gathered together and formed a huge blood fiend array. It almost covered the entire Jihyun of Silla residence. At that moment, all the plants in Jihyun of Silla residence withered as if all their juices were absorbed by the array. Even the pitiful Zerg beasts hiding underground started to shrivel up. The scene was very strange. This was the powerful array of the Demon Shadow Sect, the 8 Gates Blood Fiend Array. Its effect was similar to the Blood Dissipation Array of the 10 Ultimate Arrays, but there were some differences. The Blood Dissipation Array could turn people into pus. The 8 Gates Blood Fiend Array could suck people dry. What a boring trick. Little Gold. Attack that position and break the array. Ling Xiao had already seen the weakness of the 8 Gates Blood Fiend Array, but he did not plan to attack. He wanted to fight the Blood Demon Emissary, which would be more beneficial for his cultivation breakthrough. As for breaking the array, it was more than enough to leave it to Little Gold. Little Gold nodded and instantly flew into the air. His body grew in the wind and turned into a giant golden crow, covering the sky and the sun. It seemed to cover the entire King Jixian's mansion. At the same time, Ling Xiao and the Blood Demon Emissary's palms collided. The terrifying force was like a hurricane that wreaked havoc in the Jihyun of Silla residence. Many buildings collapsed because of it, and the scene was very messy. After Little Gold transformed into the Golden Crow, it rushed to the position that Ling Xiao had pointed out. It then waved its huge claws and tore at that place. It was like an ancient beast had descended to the mortal world. Xiao Jin's claws slashed down. In that instant, countless array flags were destroyed under the terrifying golden light of the 9 underworlds' Yellow Springs. Almost all of the Shadow Devil Sect's experts who had set up the 8 Gates Blood Fiend Grand Array were sent flying, blood spurting from their mouths. What kind of monster is this? What a terrifying power! All the experts of the Shadow Devil Sect felt their bodies tremble. They had never seen such a terrifying monster. It was as terrifying as an ancient beast, and those were only things that he had read in books. However, the fear was definitely more than that. Little Gold flapped its huge wings and floated in the air like a golden sun, coldly looking down at the disciples of the Shadow Devil Sect. Die. This is what you get for plotting against us. Xiao Jin's personality had always been rather solitary and fierce. This was related to his life experiences. His family had been wiped out, and most of his people had been killed in front of him. Those heads had stimulated his temperament. From then on, Xiao Jin decided not to be a naive person anymore. Whoever tried to kill him, he would kill them without mercy. He didn't want to see his family and friends die in front of him a second time, especially his respected boss. He couldn't let him die. As his voice rang out, his body released the dazzling golden light of the 9 underworlds' Yellow Springs. This golden light was cold and eerie, as if it had shot out from the 9 underworld's Yellow Springs. It also seemed like the judgment of the underworld. In the blink of an eye, it pierced through the bodies of dozens of Shadow Devil Sect experts. For a moment, screams rang out. The warriors who had been pierced by the golden light of the 9 underworld's Yellow Springs all burned and let out the most terrifying screams of their lives. They trembled and rolled on the ground. After a while, they died in excruciating pain. In the end, not a single complete corpse was left. Monster! Monster! The remaining disciples of the Shadow Devil Sect didn't dare to fight Xiao Jin. They wanted to flee in panic, even leaving the Blood Demon envoy behind. But how could Xiao Jin let them leave? Since you've already done it, you have to pay the price for your actions. Moreover, I won't be wrong even if I kill 10 of you. Every one of you has a blood debt. Xiao Jin knew a little about the Shadow Devil Sect. It was an evil organization that ran rampant in the Black Tortoise mainland. Even if they died 10 times, it wouldn't be enough to pay for what they had done. Therefore, Xiao Jin didn't show any mercy. With a flash of his body, the remaining disciples of the Shadow Devil sect were instantly flattened by his huge claws and set on fire. In the blink of an eye, the Blood Demon Envoy was the only one left of the Shadow Devil sect's disciples. The rest of the disciples were all dead. Moreover, he had died so quickly. Xiao Jin, take a rest first. Watch me deal with the Blood Demon Envoy. Ling Xiao and the Blood Demon Envoy had already fought more than 10 rounds. In these dozen or so rounds, it could be said that both of them had their own victories and defeats. Both of them suffered losses and gained advantages. But only Ling Xiao knew that he had used the Blood Demon Envoy's attacks to push his cultivation toward the peak of the 10th level of the Yin-Yang first transformation stage. Now, he only needed one more layer of energy. Blood Demon Envoy, where is the headquarters of the Shadow Devil sect in Thunder City? Also, who is your Grand Deacon? You'd better tell me the truth. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die like the rest of them. Ling Xiao took a step back and looked coldly at the Blood Demon Envoy. He was ready to end this battle as soon as possible. Although the Blood Demon Envoy was powerful, there was a huge flaw in his cultivation method. The so-called early stage of the 11th level of the Yin-Yang first transformation stage couldn't even compare to an ordinary early stage of the 11th level of the Hell. Ling Xiao looked down on these guys. But the Shadow Devil sect seemed to like this method of quickly increasing their cultivation, even if the flaw was very serious. How did you become so strong? The Blood Demon Envoy couldn't believe what was happening. According to the information, Ling Xiao was only at the middle stage of the 10th level of the Yin-Yang first transformation stage. But how could his combat strength be so strong? He wasn't at a disadvantage at all. And the peck he raised was so terrifying that it killed all of his subordinates in the blink of an eye. Moreover, he could feel that even he wouldn't dare to take the strange golden light head-on. How can I be so strong? That's not the answer I want to know. Ling Xiao said indifferently. Humph, don't be too arrogant. I'm an expert at the 11th level of the first transformation stage of the Hell, while you're only at the 10th level of the Hell. We're a whole realm apart. Do you really think I'm afraid of you? You'll die. Your pet will die too. You'll all die in my hands. Chapter 2672. The Blood Demon Envoy let out a terrifying roar. His fists flew towards Ling Xiao like a tidal wave. Facing the Blood Demon Envoy's attack, Ling Xiao instantly transformed into his tyrant blood demonic dragon beast soul. This Blood Devil Envoy liked to suck the blood of others to increase his own cultivation. In that case, Ling Xiao would suck his blood dry and kill him. The demonic dragon blood curse was obviously the most suitable move. After transforming, Ling Xiao took out the 8 immortal swords and went up to meet the Blood Demon Envoy. The two of them began their most violent exchange in the air. 1 round, 2 rounds. After 30 rounds, the Blood Demon Envoy was covered in wounds. Although these wounds were only superficial and did not seem to affect the Blood Demon Envoy's movements at all. However, only Ling Xiao knew that these were caused by the Blood Demon Envoy on purpose. They were just the prelude to his attack. However, the Blood Demon Envoy obviously did not know this. He did not care about these small wounds at all. Instead, the more he fought, the more excited he became. From his point of view, Ling Xiao's desperate attacks could only cause such insignificant injuries. What was there to be afraid of? Just as the Blood Demon Envoy's aura reached its peak and he had completely given up on defense and focused purely on attacking, Ling Xiao made his move. Tyrant Blood Demonic Dragon Blood Curse. The moment the Demonic Dragon Blood Curse was released, the Blood Demon Envoy felt that something was wrong. The blood in his body was gushing out crazily from the seemingly insignificant wounds. At that moment, he was afraid. His entire being was filled with fear. Run. This was the only thought in his mind at that moment. Do you think you can escape? Ling Xiao sneered. as he used the demonic dragon blood curse. One of his hands tore through the air. In an instant, it became huge and grabbed at the blood demon envoy. What kind of terrifying hand was this? The power of the heavenly queen of earth flowed on it. The power of thunder and lightning danced in it, and the power of lava flowed in the blood. There was probably no magic treasure below an emperor weapon in the world that could be compared to it. This was such a perfect hand that it did not seem to belong to a human. This hand was the essence of condensed energy. Mysterious inscriptions flowed on it, and it was filled with a terrifying ancient aura. No matter who it was, when they saw Ling Xiao's hand, they would inevitably feel reverence. Some might even kneel down to worship it. It was the hand of the profound world. It was the hand of the human king. It was the hand of the tyrant. The blood demon envoy didn't even have the courage to resist it, let alone resist it. The blood demon envoy stared at the hand in horror. In an instant he was pinched, and his body could not move at all. All the power seemed to have been completely frozen in an instant. You drank the blood of others to cultivate. Today, I will let you die from the loss of all the blood in your body. This can be considered retribution. Being held in Ling Xiao's hand, the blood demon envoy was filled with despair. He screamed in horror, "Ling Xiao, you cannot kill me. I am the third ranked blood demon envoy of the 10 demon envoys. I am a subordinate of General Purple Thunder of the Sky Thunder Legion. You cannot kill me." Ling Xiao didn't reply. The demonic dragon blood curse continued to be used, which represented his intention. The terrifying suction force continued to suck out blood from the blood demon envoy's body. The blood demon envoy's body gradually became thin. He knew that he would soon wither and become a mummy. "No, I don't want to die. You can't treat me like this. You can't." The blood demon envoy screamed in horror. He shouted out what he shouldn't have said. "My Devil Shadow Sect's headquarters in the Thunder Capital is under the Thunder Capital Imperial City." Oh, hearing this, Ling Xiao couldn't help but be stunned. The Devil Shadow Sect was really amazing. They actually hid their headquarters in an unexpected place. The Imperial City was known to be a place where no enemy could easily enter. Unless the people outside were all killed, the Imperial City was absolutely safe. But now, it seemed that this wasn't the case. This Devil Shadow Sect seemed to want to refine the Chun Kingdom's royal family. "Spare me! I've told you everything, please." The blood demon envoy screamed miserably. "Funny, I didn't ask you to tell me anything at all. You told me everything yourself." Ling Xiao sneered, and the power of the demonic dragon blood curse instantly increased. The blood demon envoy finally let out the most miserable scream in the world, and then his body turned into a withered corpse. After throwing down the blood demon envoy's corpse, Ling Xiao opened the array formation of Jihyun of Scylla's underground palace and walked in with Xiao Jin. After entering, the Jihyun of Scylla's residence instantly collapsed and turned into ruins. Of course, this was to deceive others. Ling Xiao believed that once the Devil Shadow Sect's people failed, the royal family's people would definitely make a move. Just as he expected, not long after they entered the underground palace, General Qing led the army over. However, looking at the devastated Jihyun of Scylla's residence and the mummy hanging on the flagpole, everyone felt a chill in their hearts. "Damn it, we're too late." General Qing frowned and then ordered 100 soldiers to stay behind and continue to surround the place, while the rest followed him to search the city for Ling Xiao. While he was searching for Ling Xiao had already found the 9 nether yellow springs Golden Crow's remnant soul under Jihyun of Scylla's residence and had Xiao Jin swallow it. Then the 2 of them cultivated there. After Xiao Jin swallowed this remnant soul, his cultivation would definitely increase greatly. On the other hand, Ling Xiao absorbed the blood demon envoy's blood, which contained rich yin and yang yuan qi, so it was impossible for his cultivation not to increase. 3 days later, the troops outside Jihyun of Scylla's residence had completely retreated. People had almost forgotten about the person who appeared in the Thunder City 3 days ago. Because the royal family had blocked the news, people did not know what earth-shattering thing that person had done. Only in the volcano house, there were still some rumors circulating, whether true or false. The red sun hung upside down in the sky like a furnace, and the bright flames sprinkled all over the mysterious world like flowing gold. Outside the volcano house, a few people were discussing something. "Brothers, do you remember the guy who came to the volcano house 3 days ago and refused to buy the fire-repelling talisman?" The one who asked was the person in charge of selling the fire-repelling talisman. This person was very unhappy that Ling Xiao could enter the volcano house without the fire-repelling talisman and not be injured. So his words were filled with schadenfreude because he knew some secrets. It was said that the people of the Devil's Shadow sect who wanted to deal with that guy would have died long ago. Because the royal family had blocked the news, even the volcano house did not know that the experts of the Devil's Shadow sect who went to attack Ling Xiao had all died. Of course, I remember. I haven't seen that person for several days. Someone next to him said, I'll tell you the truth. That brat was too arrogant and offended some big shot. I think he's already dead." The person in charge of selling the fire-repelling talisman sneered. "Do you know that's what happened to that brat?" "Dead. No wonder. I heard that guy didn't even give face to the second floor master. Isn't he courting death?" Chapter 2673. That's right. Why didn't he find out who the second master is? How dare he offend him? He deserves to die. The person selling the fire-warding talisman sneered. "Why did I hear that kid is Ling Xiao, the one who killed the 8th prince and Jihyun of Silla? He's ranked second on the volcano evil list. Although he's not that strong, his notoriety is second only to the dragon cult leader." Someone else said, "Who cares if he's Ling Xiao or Bai Xiao? He's dead anyway." The person selling the fire-warding talismans said disdainfully. As soon as he finished speaking, someone patted his shoulder. He scolded impatiently. "Which bastard dares to pat my shoulder? Don't you know where you are?" As soon as he said that, he saw the people around him hiding to the side as if they had seen a ghost. All of them were even looking behind him. Their expressions were as if they were possessed in broad daylight. "Don't worry, I won't hurt you." The person in charge thought that these people were afraid of him getting angry and was quite pleased. "No, look at the person behind him. Isn't he the young man who came to the volcano tower 3 days ago? The little golden bird on his shoulder is too eye-catching." Finally, someone told the person in charge the truth while trembling with fear. He shuddered and his body suddenly stiffened. He turned around shakily and saw Ling Xiao standing there coldly. "You're very pleased? Do I deserve to die?" Ling Xiao asked with a half-smile. In these 3 days, Ling Xiao and Little Gold's strength had increased by a large margin. His cultivation had finally broken through to the peak of the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm. He was getting closer and closer to the top strength in this country. Xiao Jin's strength had also increased terrifyingly. It was already at the middle stage of the 11th level of the Yin-Yang realm, together with the 9 underworld yellow spring golden light. Xiao Jin could even give a martial artist at the late stage of the 11th level of the hell a headache. The person in charge's face was pale, but when he thought of the powerful volcano tower behind him, he immediately became arrogant again. "You'd better not mess around. This is the volcano tower. Our first master and second master are experts from the 11th level of the hell. If you offend them, you'll definitely die." "Is that so?" "Pah!" Ling Xiao laughed coldly, then slapped the person in charge. "This slap is to remind you not to spout nonsense. You don't deserve to die. I won't kill you, but don't seek death." With that, he walked straight to the volcano tower. "Stop!" The person in charge was beaten up by Ling Xiao, so he was naturally furious. Although he knew that Ling Xiao was powerful, he couldn't bear to be beaten up by someone and endure it. The people of the volcano house had always been used to flaunting their strength. Within the Thunder City, the only people who dared to offend them were those from the 8 great families. They didn't even put anyone else in their eyes. Are you sure you want me to stop? Ling Xiao looked back at the man, narrowed his eyes, and asked, Do you want to die? Beg your sister. I'll kill you. The person in charge of the fire avoidance talisman flew into a rage, cursing loudly as he charged towards Ling Xiao. However, in the next moment, he found a huge bloody hole in his chest. The bloody hole was burned clean by the terrifying flames, and even his internal organs were burned away. Before his life was completely extinguished, he left behind his last words. You actually dare to kill me! Rumble. A terrifying explosion erupted from the person in charge's body, and like fireworks, his body fragments flew in all directions in front of the volcano house. In that instant, the entire street became deathly silent. After a while, exclamations finally sounded. Murder! Someone killed someone in front of the volcano house. This madman actually dared to kill someone in the Thunder City, and someone from the volcano house at that. It doesn't matter if he's Ling Xiao or not, he's dead meat. The Thunder City can't tolerate the existence of such a person. That's right. His cultivation doesn't seem to be at the first revolution of the Yin-Yang realm's 11th level of hell. Even if he's at that level, he shouldn't be causing trouble in the Thunder City. The Thunder City isn't a place where he can casually cause trouble. I'm afraid he wants to die. For revenge, he doesn't care about his life and wants to cause trouble for the volcano house. That should be the case. However, one person going against the entire volcano house is like an egg hitting a rock. This matter is too stupid. Stupid or not, he's already here. The people of the volcano house should already know. I'm afraid there's going to be a good show today. The Thunder City was an international city. At least in the western region of the Black Tortoise continent, the Thunder City was considered a big city. There were quite a number of martial artists from other countries. Among these people, there was no lack of experts at the 11th level of hell. Among them, there were even people from the dragon cult. Interesting. I didn't expect this kid to do something that even our dragon cult doesn't dare to do for us. We'll have to watch a good show. Among the crowd, there was an expert whose cultivation was at least at the first revolution of the Yin-Yang realm's 11th level of hell. At this moment, he was standing among the crowd, looking at Ling Xiao with interest. Enemy attack. A voice suddenly came from the volcano house. The voice was extremely loud and penetrating. It instantly spread throughout the entire volcano house. In the volcano tower, countless experts rushed out in an instant. Each and every one of them was filled with rage and anger. Someone actually dared to cause trouble for the volcano house. This was purely courting death. Bold thief, why aren't you surrendering? How dare you behave so atrociously in the volcano house? You're really not afraid of death. One of the Yin-Yang realm martial artists at the late stage of the 10th level of hell shouted loudly. Ling Xiao glanced at that person indifferently and said coldly, I'm looking for the volcano house. 3 days ago, I came to the volcano house and paid the full price of 10 million low-grade spirit stones for a piece of information. However, your volcano house actually sold me out to the Devil Shadow Sect and let the Devil Shadow Sect's Blood Demon Envoy and Poison Demon Envoy come to cause trouble for me. I almost died in the Thunder City. Tell me, should I come to the volcano house to seek justice? His voice wasn't loud, but it was very penetrating. Almost everyone in the surroundings heard it clearly. There had to be a reason for killing people and causing trouble. Ling Xiao had to make the reason clear to prevent unreasonable people from interfering. Heavens, the volcano house actually did such a thing. This is too unbelievable. You really don't believe me. I was also tricked by them before, but I didn't dare to speak up. Today, this young man has helped me vent my anger. In the crowd, there were also people who had been tricked by the volcano house. They were indignant and spoke of their experiences. In an instant, the reputation of the volcano house became as dirty and smelly as a latrine. Oh my, I thought the volcano house was the most fair and didn't participate in the fights between factions. It seems that we were too naive. In the future, who dares to come here to buy information. If not, they might lose their lives. In the crowd, those who didn't mind watching the show began to discuss spiritedly. As the saying went, the law couldn't punish the masses. Chapter 2674. Nonsense. How could we, the Volcano House, do such a thing? Moreover, how could the Devil's Shadow sect have anything to do with us? Besides, do you have proof that you paid the money to our volcano tower? An expert from the Volcano House roared. You want proof? Ling Xiao laughed coldly and took out the receipt in front of everyone. It was the receipt that the second pavilion master received the money. This receipt is the proof. Hee, what a joke. As far as I know, our Volcano House sold the information to you. You're the one who was plotted against by the Devil's Shadow sect. Yet you're blaming us. Shameless. Seeing the receipt, the people from the Volcano House still refused to admit it. Instead, they scolded. Brat, I think you're the one sent by the Devil's Shadow sect to cause trouble. Anyway, you'll tell us the truth once we capture you. Ha ha ha. Ling Xiao laughed wildly. Since you don't want to admit it, fine. I'll beat you until you admit it. Today, the Volcano House will be destroyed from the Thunder City. Finishing his words, he suddenly took out the white jade flying dragon sword and stabbed out. The sword light danced in the air like a white dragon or a white steed flashing through a crack. It was extremely fast. The terrifying sword chi instantly tore through the void, turning into dozens of streaks that pierced through space and tore through the void. They pierced towards the countless experts from the Volcano House. Chi, 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 chi. After the terrifying streaks of sword light, 7 or 8 corpses were lying on the ground. There was an obvious sword wound on each of their throats. Those who wanted to get proof from Ling Xiao and said that Ling Xiao was shameless were even more miserable. Not only were their throats pierced, even their tongues were cut. Ling Xiao had no intention of showing mercy. Then, an even more terrifying attack was released. The terrifying ghost dragon descended from the sky and pounced into the crowd. Miserable screams rang out as more than 10 people were swallowed by the ghost dragon. Their bodies shriveled up, and their deaths were extremely miserable. Sure enough, after my strength increased, the ghost-slaying dragon, a top-tier jade grade martial skill, became so powerful. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. A low-grade martial skill was not useless. It was very useful for cleaning up trash, and it also saved a lot of internal energy. You bastard! Stop! Suddenly, a ball of fire descended from the sky, stopping Ling Xiao's attack. The flames burned in front of Ling Xiao, blasting a large hole in the ground. 2 figures rushed over in a hurry. One of them was the second pavilion master, while the other was the first pavilion master. The 2 strongest people of the Volcano House had already arrived. It seemed that they had realized that today's matter could not be settled peacefully. When the second-floor master saw Ling Xiao, his expression changed drastically. Seeing that Ling Xiao was still alive, he actually blurted out, "Why aren't you dead?" Only then did he realize that he had spilled the beans and hurriedly shut his mouth. The great house master was a wily old fox. He said coldly, "You dare to kill innocent people in Thunder City. You must be that devil called Ling Xiao, who is ranked second on the volcano evil list. But your bounty is ranked first. The royal family's bounty for you has moved everyone." He's Ling Xiao? That's impossible. He looks completely different from Ling Xiao. Yes, even if it's a disguise, it can't change his body, right? His martial skill is also different from Ling Xiao's. It's too powerful. House master of the Volcano House, it seems that no one believes your words. Ling Xiao sneered. He was still very calm. At this moment, admitting that he was Ling Xiao would inevitably lead to huge trouble. It was impossible to destroy the Volcano House. They will believe it soon. After killing you, even if you used some evil technique to change your appearance, you will immediately return to normal. The house master snorted and released his terrifying aura. He was actually a martial artist at the middle stage of the 11th level of hell. This guy's strength was truly extraordinary. Very good. I like straightforward people. Since I came here today, it's to destroy your volcano house. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come. Ling Xiao sneered. He had to kill the second house master and first house master. As for the others, as long as they didn't make a move, he would be too lazy to make a move. After killing these two and destroying the volcano house, he would immediately leave. After all, this was Thunder City. It was easy to attract the experts of the 8 great families. Evil creature, how dare you behave so atrociously in Thunder City? Just as Ling Xiao was about to attack the 2 house masters of the volcano house, a shout suddenly came from afar. Immediately after, a group of armored horses rushed over. This group of armored horses were all riding on Sky Thunder Beasts. There was no need to ask, they were definitely from the Sky Thunder Corps. More than 100 armored horses rampaged on the street. The people standing on the road all made way for them, afraid of being hit. One of the Sky Thunder Beasts leaped up and landed in front of Ling Xiao with a loud roar. The scene was very shocking. This person's aura was extremely powerful. He was a martial artist at the early stage of the 11th level of hell. His strength was comparable to the second house master's. However, his murderous aura was clearly stronger. General Qinglei. General Qinglei is here. Among the 7 generals of the Sky Thunder Corps, except for General Purple Thunder, who rarely came out, the others were easy to recognize. General Qinglei came from the Bo Yi clan, one of the 8 great families. His name was Bo Yi Qinglei. Of course, this was a name he changed later. He was ranked 3rd among the 7 generals. General Qinglei's appearance made the entire street even more lively. After all, the battle between Ling Xiao and the volcano house was still a private grudge. If General Qinglei stepped out to help either side, it would become a public affair. Who would dare to make an enemy of the Chen Nation's imperial court? How dare you start a massacre in the Thunder City? Do you know your crime? General Qinglei, who was riding on the heavenly thunder beast, looked majestic as he questioned Ling Xiao. Do I know my crime? General, the volcano house didn't follow the rules. They took the money but betrayed me, causing me to be hunted down by the Devil's Shadow Sect. I'm just here to seek justice. The mystic world is a world of martial arts. Shouldn't private grudges be avenged in this way? Ling Xiao looked coldly at General Qinglei and said, he had sensed General Qinglei's aura 3 days ago in the volcano house and Ji Hyun of Scylla's residence. In other words, this fellow clearly knew the whole story and was even involved in it. Wanting this fellow to uphold justice was no different from a fool's dream. Nonsense. General Qinglei, don't listen to this guy's lies. The volcano house has always been honest in our business. He was the one who was ambushed. How can he blame us and come to the volcano house to kill the innocent? You must seek justice for us. Chapter 2675. General Qinglei, according to the law of Thunder City, killing on the streets is a capital offense. Regardless of the reason, this is the case. This person actually dared to challenge Wang Tianyan, which is basically looking down on the royal family. This is an unforgivable crime. Moreover, don't forget that he is most likely Ling Xiao, who is ranked 2nd on the volcano's evilest list. The head of Volcano House looked at General Qinglei and said indifferently. Naturally, he wasn't nervous because he knew that General Qinglei was on the same side as him. Today, regardless of whether the person in front of him was Ling Xiao or not, he was dead meat. Well said. General Qinglei nodded, then looked at Ling Xiao and said, that's the reason. This general doesn't care what reason you have. But daring to kill in Thunder City is an unforgivable crime. Even if the volcano house really did betray you, it's a personal grudge. You can go to the government to sound the drum and complain, or you can go outside Thunder City to take revenge. However, killing in Thunder City is not allowed. This is a rule set by the royal family, and no one can violate it. Now I give you two choices. One is to be killed by this general on the spot. The other is to obediently follow this general back. After the interrogation, you will be sentenced according to the law. You can choose. Killing in Thunder City is not allowed. Are you sure? Ling Xiao looked at General Qing Lei coldly and asked, Of course, no one can violate this law. General Qing Lei nodded. Good, no one can violate it. Then, may I ask why the Bo Yi family didn't receive any punishment when they broke into Ji Hyun of Silla's residence and killed Ji Hyun of Silla's soldiers? The 14th prince's subordinates killed someone in the restaurant. Although they didn't succeed, they showed their ferocity and attacked. Why is that person still alive now? Also, the 14th prince's cousin killed no less than 1,000 people in Thunder City. Although they were all civilians, such actions were carried out in broad daylight. Why didn't the general do anything about it? Ling Xiao spoke loudly and confidently. His voice was so strong that it could swallow the clouds. General Qing Lei was speechless for a long time, because what Ling Xiao said was the truth. They naturally knew that these people killed people, but they couldn't do anything about it. Therefore, the so-called law was simply a joke. Humph, your glib tongue is useless. They have special identities and noble statuses. How can you compare to them? Unable to refute, General Qing Lei could only harden his heart and do it by force. In other words, the rules you mentioned just now are bullshit. If that's the case, why are you using it to bind me? Ling Xiao sneered. Because this general is stronger than you. Just because this is Thunder City, the world of the royal family. General Qing Lei looked at Ling Xiao with disdain. This person in front of him was too naive and ridiculous. Did he really think that if the emperor broke the law, he would be punished the same as the common people? All right, let's cut the crap. It's still the same two choices. You can decide for yourself. After he finished speaking, General Qing Lei looked down at Ling Xiao. Holding his halberd, he looked at Ling Xiao coldly and disdainfully, waiting for Ling Xiao to make a decision. In his opinion, the person in front of him would definitely not be able to escape, or kill him, or capture him alive to see if he was really Ling Xiao. He did not take the person in front of him seriously at all, let alone Ling Xiao. If it were not for the existence of the 10-terminal formation, they would have already invaded the 8 Immortals County and killed Ling Xiao and the others. The current situation would not have happened. Do you think this will be enough to make me submit? Ling Xiao sneered. I'll give you 3 breaths to think about it. After that, I won't wait. 1 breath. General Qing Lei did not care about Ling Xiao's opinion at all, nor did he care about how angry Ling Xiao was. To him, Ling Xiao was just a pitiful little bug in front of him. He could crush him to death at any time. However, he had only counted for 1 breath when the corner of Ling Xiao's mouth curled up into a cold smile. Whoosh! Ling Xiao did not waste any more time. The 8 Immortals' sword instantly appeared in his hand, and he stabbed it directly. Although the 8 Immortals' sword was a divine-grade spiritual weapon, it did not have any distinctive features. Moreover, Ling Xiao had only taken out a male sword. Therefore, neither General Qing Lei nor the people of the volcano tower could see the uniqueness of the sword. They could not be sure that it was Ling Xiao's 8 Immortals' sword. When Ling Xiao stabbed with the sword, it felt as if the sky and earth had changed color. The entire street was suddenly covered in a gloomy color, which was eerie and terrifying. A sorrowful aura was constantly produced in the streets and alleys. Many people could not help but shed silent tears. Suddenly, the sorrowful aura became ferocious, as if the sorrowful souls had turned into vengeful ghosts. It was ferocious and terrifying. The weeper could feel the fear that was constantly being released from his body. General Qing Lei, on the other hand, did not care about it at all. He was an expert. He was an expert who thought that he could easily defeat Ling Xiao. Unorthodox Tao, what a boring little trick. General Qing Lei snorted and stabbed the long halberd in his hand at the tip of Ling Xiao's sword. It was as if he wanted to prove that he was much stronger than the young man in front of him. However, the moment the long halberd touched the eight immortals' sword, it let out a strange cry. It was as if it could not withstand the terrifying sword chi and broke into pieces. In just a moment, it turned into powder. Then, the sword chi broke through the air and easily pierced General Qing Lei's protective primary energy, piercing his throat. A patch of red scattered in the air. Ling Xiao withdrew his sword and shook off the blood on it. He looked at General Qing Lei coldly. General Qing Lei touched his bleeding throat and looked at Ling Xiao in horror and disbelief. He could not believe that it was real. He could not believe that his throat had been pierced by a sword. However, something even more terrifying had yet to happen. In his body, a terrifying sword will instantly burst out, like fireworks exploding in his body. His body actually exploded in front of the crowd and was torn into hundreds of pieces. Blood splattered on the volcano tower and was burned clean by the scorching flames. The entire street was dead silent. You think you can show off just because you're a dog of the royal family? You think you can bully people as you wish? I talked reason and law with you because I don't want others to think that I'm a troublemaker. I want you to know why you're dying. You think you're invincible just because you're at the early stage of the 11th level of hell? You think you can do whatever you want in Thunder City. Let me tell you, not to mention General Qing Lei. Even if General Zi Lei comes, I'll kill him without hesitation. Ling Xiao put away the eight immortal sword. However, the terrifying killing intent around him made him seem like a ferocious beast that had returned from the battlefield. Countless people were terrified. The onlookers who were close to him all moved away, afraid that he would kill them in a fit of anger. General Qing Lei was the third general in the Sky Thunder Corps. Yet he was killed on the street because of a disagreement. Moreover, it was in Thunder City. Who was this young man? How could he have such terrifying strength? Chapter 2676. Everyone from the volcano tower. I've already killed General Qing Lei. Why don't you find the person behind you as well? After killing General Qing Lei, Ling Xiao looked coldly at the first and second floor lords of the volcano tower. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. No one dared to believe what they had just seen. The Sky Thunder Army was the most elite army in the Qin Kingdom. General Qing Lei was ranked third among the 7 great generals. He was killed just like that, and he was killed in one move in his own territory. In the end, not even a complete corpse was left. The entire process only took 1 or 2 breaths. This scene would definitely become an unforgettable nightmare for everyone present. The first and second floor lords of the volcano tower looked terrible. General Qing Lei was stronger than the second floor lord. Although he was not as strong as the first floor lord, he had rich combat strength. But he was killed in one move. The first floor lord felt a chill in his heart. You're not Ling Xiao. You can't be Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao doesn't have the strength to kill General Qing Lei so easily. Who are you? Forget it. It doesn't matter who you are. I can tell you that the 14th prince and the ancestors of the royal family are behind us. You've never seen those people before. They've never shown themselves. But their strength far surpasses the Lightning Seigneur and the 14th prince. If you offend them, you'll definitely die. Are you guys afraid? Ling Xiao looked at the first and second floor lords with disdain. His figure suddenly flashed. Under the 1,000-mile wolf, his body pierced through the second floor lord. The second floor lord did not even have time to say anything before he was thrown into the air. He let out the most terrifying scream of his life. Then his body turned into a pool of blood and sprayed on the volcano tower. Just like General Qing Lei, he died without a complete corpse. The reason why Ling Xiao killed the second pavilion master was because he had absolute confidence. The second floor lord was not as strong as the first floor lord. He was not even as strong as General Qing Lei. It was very easy to kill him. I don't care who's behind you. If you deceive me and betray me, you won't have a good ending." Ling Zhao's voice was filled with coldness and disdain. "Damn it! Do you really think I'm afraid of you?" He saw the second-floor master die on the spot. The house master of the volcano tower was furious. He felt that he was stronger than General Qinglei, so he might have a chance to defeat Ling Xiao. Therefore, he roared and pounced on Ling Xiao. However, before he could approach Ling Xiao, a huge golden crow suddenly appeared above Ling Xiao's head. The golden crow waved its huge claws and fiercely pressed the first tower lord to the ground. Under the golden crow's claws, the first tower master was like a pitiful rabbit. "No, don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I'll admit whatever you want me to. As the saying goes, one will not shed tears until one sees the coffin." This should be the case. Xiao Jin's sudden attack caused the first tower master to lose all confidence. Fear and uneasiness completely occupied his heart. Right now, he only wanted to live and beg for mercy. "It was indeed us who betrayed you. It was us who told the demon shadow sect that you were going to Jihyun of Scylla's residence. Why did you give it to them?" Ling Xiao stared at the volcano pavilion's first tower master, his right eye suddenly releasing a strange light. In that instant, the first tower master fell into a trance. He only wanted to tell Ling Xiao everything he knew. Because the demon shadow sect's grand deacon in Thunder City is General Purple Thunder, and General Purple Thunder supports the 14th prince's succession to the throne. We speculated that you might be that Ling Xiao, so we gave them information about you. The first tower master narrated everything that he knew in full detail. However, these words caused the expressions of the surrounding spectators to change. General Purple Thunder of the Qin Nation's Sky Thunder Legion, a member of the royal family, actually colluded with the Demon Shadow Sect and the Demon Shadow Sect's Grand Deacon in Thunder City. There aren't many evil path organizations in the mystic world, and the Demon Shadow Sect is one of them. They specialize in drinking human blood to increase their cultivation. They are simply evil to the extreme. If what the first Tower Master said is true, then not only is the Volcano Pavilion finished, but even the Chun Nation's royal family is finished. They are treating the common people as fools. Just thinking about it is frightening. The Demon Shadow Sect is harming the common people of the Qin Nation, but the royal family is colluding with the Demon Shadow Sect. They might even be the mastermind behind the Demon Shadow Sect. Just thinking about it makes my back shiver. It is indeed frightening. To think that the Chun Nation's royal family would do such a thing. If not for this young hero revealing this matter, we would still be in the dark. No, we can't let the Chun Nation's royal family continue to act willfully. No matter how strong the royal family is, they still need the support of the people. We will never agree. Let's go to the royal city and demand an explanation. Once the truth was exposed, the cultivators wouldn't care if you were a member of the royal family or not. No matter how strong the royal family was, they couldn't stand against public opinion. Even the people of the other 7 great clans felt like they had been kept in the dark. They felt a sense of distrust and a sense of crisis. This allowed them to reach a tacit agreement with all the cultivators in the Thunder City. Listening to these people's discussions, Ling Xiao inwardly sneered. This was truly a pleasant surprise. Originally, he only wanted to cause trouble in the Thunder City. He didn't expect to poke a hornet's nest. Unless the royal family really killed General Purple Thunder and put all the blame on him, it would be impossible for them to do so. Otherwise, not to mention the Thunder City, even the Chun Nation's royal family could forget about surviving. With the 7 great clans working together and the Chun Nation's many cultivators, the royal family would find it difficult to deal with them alone. Ling Xiao only needed to stay behind these people and quietly wait for them to make a fool of themselves. In contrast to Ling Xiao's joy, the Volcano Pavilion's first Tower Master was pale. He knew that even if Ling Xiao didn't kill him today, after revealing so many truths, he would be killed by his master. However, as long as he was alive, he would have a chance to turn the tables. At worst, he would have the royal family issue a notice saying that he had been coerced and had no choice but to speak. It would all be nonsense. In any case, compared to a wandering cultivator with an unknown identity, he believed that more people would be willing to trust the royal family. This was especially true for the 7 great clans. Even if there was the slightest possibility, they wouldn't be willing to fall out with the royal family. The problem now was to report this matter to General Purple Thunder and the 14th Prince as soon as possible and let them make a decision. What are you thinking? No matter what you want to do, you won't have the chance. Ling Xiao coldly glanced at the first Tower Master, then looked at Xiao Jin and said, "Swallow this guy's demonic core. This guy isn't human at all. He's a volcanic rock spirit. Swallowing his demonic core will be helpful to your cultivation." Hearing this, Xiao Jin's claws tore open the Volcano Pavilion's first Tower Master's body. He took out the demonic core and swallowed it. Chapter 2677. Let's go. Seeing the chaos in Thunder City, Ling Xiao and Xiao Jin quietly disappeared into the crowd. Ling Xiao had Xiao Jin hide in the beast ring for the time being, while he changed his appearance again, preparing to go to the Devil's Shadow sect and destroy their base in Thunder City. In any case, the Devil's Shadow sect's great deacon was General Purple Thunder. General Purple Thunder's cultivation should be around the first cycle of the Yin-Yang realm's 11th layer of hell. If he and Xiao Jin work together, they might be able to kill him. More importantly, once this chaos started, General Purple Thunder probably wouldn't be in the mood to care about the Devil's Shadow sect. At this moment, the Devil's Shadow sect was very empty. He could take advantage of this opportunity to rob them. Good lad, if he can join our dragon cult, overthrowing the Chun Kingdom's royal family will be just around the corner. The dragon cult expert in the crowd was very excited when he saw Ling Xiao disappear into the crowd. Although Ling Xiao had changed his appearance, this dragon cult expert had his own set of techniques that could perfectly capture Ling Xiao's aura. "Lad, I'm sorry, but we'll have to let you suffer a blow first before our dragon cult rescues you. I don't believe that you won't join our dragon cult." This person sneered and immediately left, heading straight for the 14th Prince's residence. He was currently disguised as a guest elder and advisor of the 14th Prince. Although he wasn't very eye-catching, he believed that the 14th Prince would pay attention to Ling Xiao's appearance in Thunder City. Sure enough, when he told the 14th Prince about how Ling Xiao had disguised himself and killed General Blue Thunder and the Volcano House's house lords, the 14th Prince's expression changed. The 14th Prince's expression changed slightly. "Your Highness, why don't you let our Bo Yi clan handle this matter?" "No, let our Gu clan handle it. Our Fengli clan is also willing to help." The enmity between the Bo Yi clan and Ling Xiao didn't need to be said. The current patriarch of the Gu clan was Gu Tianba. As the newest member of the 8 great clans, they had not been humiliated for a long time. However, Ling Xiao not only killed Gu Feng, but also humiliated Gu Tianba in front of many people in the restaurant. More importantly, Gu Tianba also found out that his son, Gu Mingyu, was killed by Ling Xiao. Therefore, the Gu clan had to kill Ling Xiao. Because the pineapple family was born from the ancient pineapple tree, they got this surname. Although their surname was strange, this family was closely related to the royal family. This was because every generation of women from the Fengli family was the queen of the state of Qin. This generation was slightly inferior, but she was still the most favored imperial concubine of the Qin Kingdom's king. Her status was even higher than that of the queen, because this imperial concubine's son was the 14th prince, Qin Songxiong. The queen's son was Ji Hyun of Silla. Now that he had been killed, there was no way he could be compared to this imperial concubine. After all, in the harem, the mother's status had always depended on her son. The enmity between the pineapple family and Ling Xiao stemmed from what happened in the restaurant. The 14th prince's cousin was arrogant and despotic, bullying the weak everywhere she went. When she met a steel plate like Ling Xiao, she was crippled by Ling Xiao. As such, how could the pineapple family forgive Ling Xiao? Unexpectedly, 3 of the 8 great clans were willing to kill Ling Xiao. The 14th prince thought for a moment and said, "The 3 of you should take action together. You absolutely cannot let Ling Xiao escape Thunder City." Although Ling Xiao had been in the limelight recently, the 14th prince, Qin Songxiong, still did not take Ling Xiao seriously. In his opinion, no one in the state of Qin was a match for him. He had long since set his sights on a higher level. For a petty thief like Ling Xiao, he could just leave it to his subordinates to deal with. Furthermore, the ones taking action were 3 of the 8 great clans. Could anything happen to him? As Ling Xiao was walking, he suddenly felt an intense sense of danger. A strong sense of vigilance arose in his heart. "Boss, something's wrong. We seem to be surrounded. Moreover, there are many experts." Xiao Jin also sensed this terrifying threat from the beast ring. "Looks like we've been exposed. Since that's the case, there's no need to hide anymore." Ling Xiao sneered and returned to his original appearance. He could not be bothered to disguise himself. In any case, he had already been exposed. It would be boring to do such things. However, the plan to eradicate the Devil Shadow sect would probably have to be put on hold for the time being. The next plan was to escape Thunder City. Thinking of this, he set his sights on the city gates of Thunder City. After galloping for nearly 1 li, the city gates were already within reach. However, at this moment, the people surrounding him finally tied up this pocket. Ling Xiao's surroundings were simply filled with experts. There were actually 2 cultivators at the middle stage of the 11th level of the Yin-Yang realm. There were as many as 6 cultivators at the early stage of the 11th level of the Yin-Yang realm. As for the peak stage of the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm, there were at least 1,000. There were close to 10,000 cultivators at the late stage of the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm. As for the remaining cultivators, none of them were below the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm. As for the people surrounding him, there were as many as 50 to 60,000. It looked like someone had really put in a lot of effort to kill him. This kind of treatment really surprised Ling Xiao. However, thinking about it made sense. Kill the 8th prince. Kill Jihyun of Silla. Kill the patriarch of the Bo Yi family, Bo Yi Qin. Kill the 4 generals of the Sky Thunder Legion. This time he caused a huge commotion in Thunder City, killed General Qinglei, destroyed the volcano tower, and added an unprecedented problem to the royal family. If the Chun Kingdom's royal family still did not take action against him, then they would not be able to survive in the future. The Bo Yi family, Gu family, and Pineapple family all came out in full force. The cultivators below the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm were all outside the perimeter. It was not their turn to make a move. This time, Ling Xiao had finally witnessed the power of the royal family and the power of the 8 great families. It was indeed terrifying. It was not something his 8 Immortals County could compare to. Fortunately, he had the 10 terminal formation. Otherwise, if all these experts came out, the 8 Immortals County would definitely be robbed clean, and not even a blade of grass would survive. "Little Gold, are you afraid?" A faint smile appeared on Ling Xiao's face as he let Little Gold out of the beast ring. "Afraid? As long as I can fight with you, boss. Even if I die here, what is there to be afraid of?" Little Gold said as it flapped its wings, "Good brother, let's add some spice to this chaotic Thunder City today." If it were a few days ago, Ling Xiao would probably only be able to escape in the face of so many experts. Even escaping would be a problem. However, today, Ling Xiao was somewhat confident that he could leave after causing a huge commotion in Thunder City. Fortunately, although there were many people this time, there were no late stage or peak stage cultivators at the 11th level of the Yin-Yang realm. To them, this was definitely an incomparably fortunate event. Chapter 2678. Gu Tianba looked coldly at Ling Xiao and suddenly sneered. "You're doing pretty well. I'm afraid everyone in the state of Qin knows your name. Not only did you occupy the 8 Immortals County, but you also established the 8 Immortals Kingdom. Even the Sky Thunder Corps sent by the royal family couldn't do anything to you. Instead, they lost 4 generals. To be honest, I'm starting to be afraid of you. So you can't leave here alive. Otherwise, you'll become the scourge of the state of Qin. Speaking of this, Gu Tianba looked around and asked, "Where's the woman beside you?" He wasn't afraid of Ling Xiao, but he was terrified of Yu Fenghua. After all, he had experienced Yu Fenghua's strength before. Others thought that Gu Tianba was only at the peak of the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm. In fact, he hid his true cultivation in order to disguise himself as a pig to eat a tiger. This caused many enemies to come to seek death. His true cultivation was at the middle stage of the 11th level of the Hell. He was one of the 2 top experts among the people who came. Even so, he was still afraid of Yu Fenghua. Only he knew that he had used all his strength in the restaurant. However, he still couldn't block Yu Fenghua's attack. This was enough to show how terrifying that woman was. "Hee, are you afraid?" Ling Xiao sneered. "Not afraid, but cautious. The only reason you dare to run amok is because you are relying on that woman's strength. Without her, you're just an insignificant bug." Gu Tianba said indifferently, "That's what the head of the volcano house thinks too. Don't tell me you're planning to follow in his footsteps." Ling Xiao said disdainfully, "Humph, that idiot must have fallen into your trap. I won't. Moreover, you have an army of tens of thousands. Even if you can contend against the experts of the 11th level of the Hell, what can you do? Ha ha ha. You'll suffer the wrath of the 3 great families today." Gu Tianba snorted coldly and then burst into laughter. Gu Tianba's laughter was somewhat to cover up his awkwardness, but at the same time, it was also unbridled. With such a huge formation and an army of tens of thousands surrounding a martial artist at the middle stage of the 10th level of Hell, it felt like using a flying sword to kill a mosquito. How could he not win? Not only Gu Tianba, but the others also had the same idea. There were too many mysteries surrounding Ling Xiao, and there were also many incomprehensible things about him. However, they still believed that no matter how many miracles there were, they would not be able to fill the huge gap in strength. If Ling Xiao could escape from their encirclement today, it would not be a miracle. It could even be called a miracle. Perhaps miracles could be created, but miracles could not be created by mortals. Therefore, Ling Xiao must die today. Xiao Jin was lying on Ling Xiao's shoulder, and the little golden bird was completely ignored. No one knew that the current Xiao Jin possessed even greater battle prowess than Ling Xiao. Ignoring him would cause this battle to become full of variables. In fact, among the opponents, only the 2 middle-stage martial artists at the 11th level of Hell could pose a threat to Ling Xiao. As for the others, Ling Xiao was confident that he could defeat them one by one. As long as he did not give them a chance to surround him, he could win. In terms of fighting strength, the opponents were indeed stronger. However, the prerequisite was that they could form a rope. Ling Xiao would definitely not give them this opportunity. "Xiao Jin, I'll leave those 2 guys at the 11th level of Hell to you. Is there a problem?" Ling Xiao sent a soul message. "It's a little difficult, but I can try." Xiao Jin could easily deal with one of them, but it was indeed a little troublesome to deal with 2 of them together. "Okay, try to delay those 2 guys. I'll open up a bloody path for us. Don't fight and try to escape. Where there's life, there's hope." Ling Xiao reminded. He was not a brute. Since his identity had been exposed, he naturally had to leave Thunder City. If the 14th Prince, Chen Sangxiong, the Thunder Emperor, the Lightning Seigneur, or even the old antiques of the Chen nation attacked, the 2 of them would really die here. Thus, they only had one goal: to break out of the encirclement and escape. Thinking of this, Ling Xiao looked back at Gu Tianba and the others and said, "If there were 1 million of you, you might be able to pose a threat to me. However, there are only 50 to 60,000 of you. To me, these people are just wooden stakes, scarecrows. Aside from dying, they have no meaning. In my Ling Xiao's eyes, the so-called 8 great clans are all trash. The royal army is all trash. Thus, I advise you to get those trash out of the way. Otherwise, I'll clean up the 3 great clans and remove your names. You dare to say that we're all trash? The cultivators of the 3 great clans all gnashed their teeth at Ling Zhao's words, their expressions extremely unsightly. Isn't that so? Then which one of you dares to fight one-on-one with me? Ling Xiao sneered disdainfully. Ling Xiao, you don't have to play tricks. You want to fight one-on-one? Do you think that's possible? Our advantage lies in our 50,000 troops. You want us to give up such an advantage? Do you think we're stupid? Gu Tianba said with a smile. Ha ha ha! This is the first time I've heard someone make cowardice sound so dignified. You're really gauging the heart of a gentleman with the yardstick of a villain. I just don't want to kill indiscriminately. However, since you're not willing to fight one-on-one, don't blame me for starting a massacre. Amidst his laughter, Ling Xiao suddenly transformed into a purple lightning bull. Then, his huge body stomped on the street. Earthquakes and mountains sway. Terrifying vibrations began to appear within a radius of dozens of miles. The people surrounding him and Xiao Jin were all seeing stars and feeling dizzy. It was as if their feet had lost their roots. Shadow martial arts, ghost-slaying dragon, ghost-fighting emperor. Then he transformed back into a purple lightning bull and 2 immortal swords appeared in his hands. Terrifying sword light fell on the street like rain. The martial artists who were still dizzy were all injured by the sword chi. Some died on the spot, but of course more were injured. Ling Zhao's attack did not stop because this was originally an attack strategy. Then he transformed into the tyrant blood demonic dragon. Demonic dragon blood curse. The terrifying demonic dragon blood curse was released. The blood in the bodies of the injured martial artists flew out. Some were sucked dry in an instant, while others were still struggling desperately. Sun God's divine ability, bloodthirsty plague. Then, Ling Xiao released the bloodthirsty plague. The terrifying plague spread among the crowd. At this time, the disadvantage of having too many people was revealed. The plague was the easiest to spread in a dense crowd. In an instant, tens of thousands of martial artists were tormented by the plague. They had completely lost their fighting strength and had no choice but to resist this terrifying virus. This scene left the experts who weren't affected by the bloodthirsty plague dumbstruck. Chapter 2679. See, I've said it before. There's no use in having so many people. Cultivators below the 11th level of hell are nothing to me. Ling Xiao sneered at the dumbfounded Gu Tianba and the others. You said that I was being petty and wanted to fight you one-on-one? Do you understand now? You are too stupid to see my good intentions. Monster. Gu Tianba's mouth was agape for a long time before he finally uttered these 2 words. In his eyes, Ling Xiao was a monster. After all, it was simply impossible for him to deal with 50,000 people at the same time. However, Ling Zhao's bloodthirsty plague was too terrifying. This was simply a bug-like ability. It was no wonder that this kid had always been so arrogant. It turned out that he had such a terrifying ability. Stop. If you want to fight me one-on-one, I will agree. I want to see whether you are a human or a demon. Gu Tianba roared at Ling Xiao. It's impossible for me to stop. If you can keep up with me, then come on. Ling Xiao naturally wouldn't choose to fight Gu Tianba in Thunder Capital. He called out to Little Gold and rushed out of the city. However, when he approached the city gate, he discovered that Thunder Capital was also protected by a powerful array formation. The array formation enveloped the entire Thunder Capital, so it would be difficult for him to fly away even if he had wings, unless he could break this array formation. Master, it's up to you. I will buy time. Ling Xiao transmitted his voice to the Yuan Venerate. Leave it to me. Although this array formation is complicated, I will definitely break it within 10 minutes. Be careful. The Yuan Venerate flew out of Ling Xiao's body. Because he was a spiritual body, others couldn't see him at all. Ling Xiao didn't need to worry about him. Why don't you run away? Why aren't you running away? Do you think you are the only one who knows about array formations? Thunder Capital has been protected by a large array since the day it was established. Furthermore, this array formation was set up by the founder of the Qin Nation and is considered an ancient array formation. You simply can't break it. Even if you can, we won't give you the time to do so. Didn't you just say that you want to fight one-on-one? I'll fulfill your wish. Gu Tianba proudly looked at Ling Xiao and said, "You guys are powerful. Come, let me see the true strength of the Qin Nation's City Defense Battalion Commander, a rank 1 military marquis." Gu Tianba wanted to personally kill Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao also hoped to buy time for his master, Yuan Venerate, to break the array. Therefore, the battle between the two seemed inevitable. The plan was a little different from Ling Xiao's previous plan, but it didn't matter much. A one-on-one battle was actually more advantageous for him. Patriarch Tianba, let our Bo Yi family deal with this brat. Suddenly, a person walked out from the Bo Yi family. His cultivation base was at the early stage of the 11th level of the Yin-Yang realm. His name was Bo Yi Yuan, and he was the son of Bo Yi Qinglei. However, he was even stronger than his father. Bo Yi Yuan was even stronger than his father. At the age of 40, he was already close to breaking through the middle stage of the 11th level of hell. He was only one level away. He wanted to avenge his father. All right, on account of your eagerness to avenge your father, I'll leave this battle to you. Be careful, this brat is strange. Gu Tianba was actually a little afraid of Ling Xiao. He was mainly afraid that Yu Fenghua was nearby. Therefore, since Bo Yi Yuan wanted to make a move, he would let this brat test the waters for him. Bo Yi Yuan sneered, "Rest assured, military marquis. I will make sure he dies a horrible death." His confidence didn't just come from his own strength. Of course, there were other factors as well. Otherwise, he wouldn't have stepped out so easily. Ling Xiao looked at Bo Yi Yuan coldly and waved his hand casually. "Scram, your father wanted to kill me, so I killed him. I hope you don't throw your life away. Otherwise, I'm afraid your family won't even be able to survive." He simply didn't want to fight with Bo Yi Yuan. In his opinion, a martialist at the initial stage of the 11th level of hell wasn't worth mentioning. "You want me to scram? Are you afraid?" Bo Yi Yuan mocked. "Idiot." Ling Xiao scolded and said, "Since you want to die, then come. I will stand here. No matter how many people you send, I will serve you until the end. I just want to tell you and the Chun Kingdom's royal family that the royal family's lackeys are all trash. Trash. This king? Do you really think of yourself as one of the 8 immortal kings?" Gu Tianba said coldly, "Ling Xiao, you're dead meat today. Bo Yi Yuan, if you can kill him, I will give you all the 100 virgins selected by the common people. You have to know that each of those 100 girls is gorgeously dressed. More importantly, they all have the purest blood. If you use them to cultivate, you can improve your cultivation even more. Haven't you been unable to break through? The opportunity is here." Beast. Ling Xiao had heard that the martialists of the 8 great families liked to cultivate with the blood of virgins. It was said that this was a special cultivation method. It was a reward from the Devil's Shadow sect. Originally, he thought that this was just a rumor and couldn't be taken seriously. But listening to Gu Tianba's words, it turned out to be true. One must know that once those pitiful girls were used as cultivation props, they would be bled every day and fed like pigs. No dignity, no hope. Their lives were ruined just like that. Among them, some of them even had good martial arts aptitude, but they were ruined like this. Ling Xiao was not a saint, but he was still a person with a strong sense of justice. Such beastly behavior made him unable to feel the slightest bit of pity. When Bo Yi Yuan heard Gu Tianba's words, his eyes lit up and he said excitedly, "Thank you for the reward, military marquis. Don't worry, I will definitely kill Ling Xiao." He looked as if he couldn't wait to twist Ling Xiao's head off. Looking at this scene, Ling Xiao suddenly felt that his previous sympathy was simply laughable. "Bo Yi Yuan, since you're scum like Gu Tianba, I won't have any psychological burden if I kill you. Ling Xiao took a deep breath and looked coldly at Bo Yiyuan. He hooked his hand and said, "Come, let me see how capable a scum like you is. Kill him. Let this guy know the strength of our Bo Yi family." On the Bo Yi family side, the martial artists who were still alive shouted crazily. In order to resist the bloodthirsty plague, they had suffered great torment. This hatred was naturally forced onto Ling Xiao. Bo Yi Yuan walked towards Ling Xiao. On the wide street, there was no one else. The moment the three great clans surrounded Soaring Sky, everyone here had already been chased away. Therefore, this was the best battlefield. Die Ling Xiao! Bo Yi Yuan didn't waste any words. When he was about 50 meters away from Ling Xiao, he suddenly roared and charged forward. The Bo Yi family's ancestral martial spirit, the swamp monster, also appeared behind him. But this guy's martial spirit is a little special. It's actually dark green. Chapter 2680. The gigantic swamp monster stretched out its strange tentacles and pierced through the void toward Ling Xiao. The dark green venom fell to the ground, and the solid ground was instantly corroded. What a terrifying venom! No wonder this kid has the confidence to kill me. Ling Xiao could not help but sneer. Then I'd like to see if your venom is more powerful than my lava. He did not waste any more time and instantly entered the beast soul transformation state of the three-headed lava hound. 3 terrifying heads of the lava hound stretched out from his back and pounced toward the swamp monster. The boiling lava continued to burn in the air, emitting a charred smell as if the entire sky was about to be burned through. Boom! The 3 heads of the lava hounds and the swamp monster met in the air. Flames raged and lava exploded. Dark green venom splattered everywhere. Some warriors could not dodge in time and were hit by the venom. Their bodies were instantly melted. However, Ling Xiao's face was as calm as ever. Sky Tyrant Martial Soul. Sky Dragon Continent Energy Release. At present, Ling Xiao's Sky Tyrant Martial Soul had truly formed the power of the 3 continents. Sky Dragon, Godly Phoenix, White Tiger, and Sky Tyrant Universe. When the power of the 3 continents was fully displayed, Ling Xiao's Sky Tyrant Martial Soul was currently the strongest power after Sky Tyrant Universe. However, it was not necessary to deal with Bo Yi Yuan. The power of the Sky Dragon continent alone was more than enough. A sky dragon flew out from the void above Ling Xiao's head and let out a loud dragon roar. Then it merged into the lava hound transformation. The power of the 3 heads instantly increased. Then, the swamp monster collapsed and turned into fragments. The terrifying lava took the opportunity to rush toward Bo Yi Yuan and completely engulf him. Completely drowned, Bo Yi Yuan's face changed, as if he was thrown into the lava of a volcano. He did not underestimate his opponent. Releasing the dark green venomous swamp monster meant that he was ready to attack Ling Xiao with all his might. He thought that he could kill Ling Xiao instantly if he used all his strength. However, Ling Xiao's lava hound actually blocked his attack. Then, a terrifying power from an unknown source directly poured into the lava hound. In an instant, his swamp monster lost its ability to resist. Damn it, what kind of power is this? Bo Yi Yuan's face was very ugly. He desperately displayed Yuan energy protection and merged his martial soul into his body to form a solid protective layer on the surface, in an attempt to block the terrifying power of the lava. However, it did not seem to be of much use. The magma was able to block it, but because he had focused all his elemental energy on defense, he had completely ignored the bloodthirsty plague that had already spread all over his body. Previously, Ling Xiao did not let the bloodthirsty plague attack, because with Hanno Yuan's strength, the bloodthirsty plague alone would not be able to kill him easily. Swamp, swamp, swamp monster, swamp, swamp, amp, amp, swamp, swamp, monster, swamp, 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 amp, swamp. No, you can't do this. Waving his hand, he took out a defensive magic artifact from his storage ring and used it to resist the magma, while he circulated his internal force to drive away the bloodthirsty plague. However, how could Ling Xiao let him have his way? Shadow martial art, shadow sword demon. Great success. The gloomy sword light was not that bright. It was like a demonic shadow that was released from Ling Xiao's body. It turned into a small sword light that pierced towards Hanno Yuan at a speed that was hard to see with the naked eye. Hanno Yuan had to deal with the power of lava and the bloodthirsty plague, so he couldn't spare any attention to resist this terrifying sword light. How could he have imagined that Ling Xiao's attacks would actually be so intertwined, making it completely impossible to guard against? Originally, his strength should have been slightly stronger than Ling Xiao, especially before Ling Xiao released the Sky Tyrant martial spirit. But now, not only did Ling Xiao use the Sky Dragon's power of the Sky Tyrant martial spirit, he also used the bloodthirsty plague to weaken Hanno Yuan. The current Hanno Yuan no longer has any advantage against Ling Xiao. His father was killed by Ling Xiao's sneak attack. For him to be able to hold on until now is already considered very good. He is indeed much stronger than his father. The feeling of death is so close. He can already feel the sharpness of the sword energy with his skin. But the opponent's speed is too fast. There is no way for him to dodge. The only thing he can do is to shout for help. From the Hanno family, 2 First Revolution Yin-Yang Realm Early Stage Hell Realm martial artists rushed out. This is also their Hanno family's final strength. They don't want to see Hanno Yuan die like this. What bullshit one-on-one, they don't care. So what if they are shameless? Their Hanno family is already used to being shameless. Want to save him? Too late. Ling Xiao gave Xiao Jin a signal with his eyes. Xiao Jin suddenly turned into a huge golden crow. It stretched out its claws and pressed the 2 men to the ground, burning them to death. With Xiao Jin's current strength, it is too easy to kill these 2 men. After all, although these 2 men's cultivation is similar to Hanno Yuan, even if they are added together, they may not be as strong as Hanno Yuan. Even if they are of the same cultivation, the difference in their combat strength is very big. What? Before the crowd could be shocked by the fact that Ling Xiao easily suppressed Hanno Yuan, they were shocked by Xiao Jin's terrifying strength, easily killing 2 First Revolution Yin-Yang Realm Early Stage martial artists. This strength is not inferior to Gu Tianba and the other top expert. Gu Tianba even swallowed his saliva. He is really afraid. If he was the one who attacked just now, he would have been killed by this little bird. No matter how he calculated, he actually missed out on this bird. Hateful! What is this Ling Xiao's background? Previously, there was a powerful woman by his side, and now there is this powerful golden bird. Could it be that he is the young master of some big force? Gu Tianba can only think like this. Otherwise, he really cannot understand how Ling Xiao can have so many experts by his side. Ling Xiao does not care about their thoughts. The sharp sword light pierced through all of Hanno Yuan's defenses and pierced his throat. Hanno Yuan was lifted up. Ah! At that moment, Hanno Yuan burst out with an earth-shattering scream. The whole street can hear it clearly. Stop it! Stop it! I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to fight anymore. You said that you can spare me. Everyone has a time when they are afraid of death. However, even if some people are afraid of death, they will not beg for mercy for their dignity. But some people can't. When they are in power, they are extremely arrogant. But once there is danger, they will immediately beg for mercy like a pitiful bug. Ling Xiao's sword did not only pierce Hanno Yuan's throat. Moreover, through the bloodthirsty plague, he absorbed the energy in Hanno Yuan's body. A part of it is directly refined and absorbed. The rest is stored in the cells. Chapter 2681. Do you know fear now? Unfortunately, it's too late. From the moment you made your move, you were already destined to die under my sword. Ling Xiao looked at Watanabe with contempt and said, "But you can rest assured. There are many people from your Watanabe clan accompanying you down there. You won't feel lonely. No, you can't kill me. Watanabe shouted in fear as if he was demonstrating to Ling Xiao. Because you're from the 8 great clans? Because you're related to the royal clan? Ling Xiao sneered disdainfully. No, I'm not just a member of the Watanabe clan. My other identity is also a disciple of the dragon cult. At the critical juncture of life and death, Watanabe could no longer care about the secret he had been hiding for a long time. In fact, the dragon cult was originally a rebel force in the Qin country. Not to mention Watanabe, in fact, there were also many people in the imperial court who belonged to the dragon cult. But these people had secret identities that they didn't dare to easily expose. Once exposed, they would definitely die without a burial ground. Watanabe also didn't want to expose himself, so when he said those words to Ling Xiao, his voice was very soft. Only Ling Xiao could hear it. He hoped that Ling Xiao would spare his life in fear of the dragon cult. So what if it's the dragon cult? I have already formed enmity with the dragon cult. Unless they are willing to apologize to me, if I have time, I will first destroy the Chun country's royal clan and then destroy the dragon cult. Ling Xiao sneered. Sword Qi crisscrossed on his sword and instantly destroyed Watanabe's nervous system. Then he kicked Watanabe's corpse toward Gu Tianba. Back then, the sect master of the 8 Immortals Mountain was a member of the dragon cult. Later, when he and Ji Hyun of Silla and Qin Kanglin were on their way to Thunder City, they were attacked by the dragon cult and almost lost their lives. This was a great enmity. Watanabe actually dared to use the dragon cult to threaten him. He was simply courting death. See, I've said it before. The 8 great clans are all trash. Trash! A martial artist at the early stage of the 11th level of hell in Yin-Yang realm was no match for me. A martial artist at the early stage of the 10th level of hell. This was simply hilarious. If you don't want to admit that you're trash, then come at me. Gu Tianba, don't let others die for you this time. You should do it yourself. Although Ling Xiao wasn't standing very high, his aura had already completely suppressed the tens of thousands of people. As a result, even though his words were very unpleasant, no one dared to refute him. However, Gu Tianba hesitated. Of course, he wasn't afraid of Ling Xiao, but of Xiao Jin. If Xiao Jin teamed up with Ling Xiao, it would be impossible for him to win. As a powerhouse, his mind was still very clear. I can do it, but you can't let that little bird help. Gu Tianba looked at Ling Xiao and said, "What a joke. Xiao Jin is my comrade, and we've always been in the same boat. Forget it. Since you're so timid, there's no need to fight one-on-one. Today, I, Ling Xiao, will go on a killing spree in Thunder City and kill all of you trash." Ling Xiao felt that time was almost up, so there was no need to fight one-on-one. In fact, he had already controlled his battle with Bo Yi Yuan very well, delaying the battle for 7 to 8 minutes. It would only take 2 to 3 minutes for his Yuan Venerate Master to break through the defensive array formation of Thunder City. Now, all he had to do was cause a ruckus and take the opportunity to slip away. Then, everything would be fine. Xiao Jin, remember, don't leave the vicinity of the gate. Ling Xiao reminded him. Understood. Xiao Jin nodded. The two of them stood on the spot and started to unleash their attacks. Xiao Jin flapped his wings, and a terrifying golden light shot out of his body, instantly penetrating dozens of meters of space and hitting the martialists who were recuperating. In an instant, a raging inferno engulfed them, and they all screamed miserably as they turned into ashes. Even 2 martialists at the 11th level of the yin-yang boundary died on the spot because they were careless. Under Xiao Jin's attack, apart from Gu Tianba and another martialist of the same cultivation base, the others were simply sitting ducks. They were completely useless. Ling Xiao had his eyes set on Gu Tianba. He had to kill this fellow before leaving. His figure flashed, and like a wolf's afterimage, he pounced at Gu Tianba. This was the last thing he had to do before leaving. At the moment, many powerful martialists were watching the battle from afar. A dense crowd hovered in the sky and watched the battle. Of course, the expert from the dragon cult was also among them. Most of the weaker martialists were more inclined towards the Chun nation's royal family because they felt inferior. Thus, they absolutely wouldn't allow anyone who dared to defy the royal family to live, because that would make them seem too incompetent and lowly. However, the opinions of those experts were different. They wouldn't give the Chun nation's royal family any face. Instead, they sympathized and supported Ling Xiao. The better Ling Xiao performed, the better they felt. The matter of General Purple Thunder colluding with the Spectre sect was quickly suppressed by the royal family. However, this also caused the royal family's reputation to plummet. Those martialists didn't dare to provoke the royal family, but it was absolutely no problem for them to secretly support Ling Xiao. Seeing Ling Xiao tormenting the tens of thousands of people from the three great clans so easily, they couldn't help but feel delighted. This Ling Xiao, should I say he's bold or reckless? No matter what, this guy will become a legend. He actually dared to come to Thunder City alone. Too crazy. This is a real man. If he really escapes, he'll probably become the eternal shame of the Qin nation's royal family. And Ling Xiao will create a true miracle. He's young, but his cultivation is so terrifying. The matching combat strength is even more shocking. It's a pity that he's still weak and a little too impulsive. Otherwise, if he was allowed to develop for a few more years, he would definitely become a terrifying existence that even the Thunder Emperor wouldn't be able to suppress. That 14th prince is nothing in front of him. Do you think he'll die? Someone asked. If nothing unexpected happens and no one comes to save him, he'll definitely die. Right now, I'm hoping that the dragon cult will save this kid. If that happens, the royal family will be anxious. Someone laughed. Actually, in the eyes of most people, Ling Xiao would definitely die this time if no one came to save him. Even if he defeated those opponents, Ling Xiao wouldn't be able to escape Thunder City. The royal family wouldn't allow such a disgrace to appear. Their discussion wouldn't affect Ling Xiao's battle. Ling Xiao's plan had already been reformulated. After killing Gu Tianba, he would retreat. On one hand, Gu Tianba was indeed a threat. On the other hand, Ling Xiao needed to break through, and Gu Tianba would be a very good sparring partner. End the battle quickly. Ling Xiao had already made his decision. The instant he pounced at Gu Tianba, Ling Xiao instantly entered the Nine-Snake General Transformation state. The Nine-Snake heads spat out a terrifying poisonous mist. Chapter 2682. To deal with Gu Tianba, Ling Xiao naturally had to use all his skills. Otherwise, it would be impossible to win. After all, there was still a big gap between his current cultivation and the other parties. Then he transformed into a lava Cerberus, releasing scorching hell. Gu Tianba was covered in it. This way, no one would come to rescue him. It wasn't that easy to break through scorching hell. After that, Ling Xiao activated the deadly germs that the bloodthirsty plague had hidden in Gu Tianba's body. Things were not over yet. Ling Xiao roared and fully released the Heavenly Thunder Divine Guards. 8 Heavenly Thunder Divine Guards with 80% of his strength pounced on Gu Tianba and surrounded him. 80% of Ling Xiao's strength was almost equivalent to the early stage of the 11th level of hell. 8 of these guys attacked Gu Tianba at the same time. Even Gu Tianba was a little flustered. Coupled with the infection of the bloodthirsty plague virus, Gu Tianba was almost instantly tricked by Ling Xiao. The Heavenly Thunder Divine Guards were still fine. As long as he used all his strength, it would be easy to eliminate them all. But Ling Xiao didn't give him the chance at all. The 8 Heavenly Thunder Divine Guards almost detonated themselves at the same time. The only thing Gu Tianba could do was to defend with all his strength. Even so, he was still injured by the terrifying power of thunder and lightning. On the wound, the virus spread faster. So much so that he had to consume nearly half of his internal force to stop the virus from raging. When all the conditions were met, Ling Xiao used his killer move, Shadow Sword Demon at the Great Perfection Realm. It was a stronger move than when he dealt with Bo Yi Qin. Stealth, speed, impossible to guard against. When the cold blade directly pierced Gu Tianba's shoulder blade, Gu Tianba let out a hysterical scream. Ling Xiao was a little dissatisfied, because he originally stabbed at Gu Tianba's throat, but this guy actually dodged at the critical moment. This time he dodged because he was stronger than Bo Yiqin. But so what? Thunderstorm Art. Ling Xiao released the Thunderstorm Art. The terrifying lightning followed the 8 immortal swords and penetrated Gu Tianba's wound, instantly spreading throughout his body. Due to the increase in Ling Xiao's cultivation level, the thunder explosion skill's power was naturally more terrifying. It was not inferior to the power of a first heaven of God-grade martial skill. When Gu Tianba was hit by the Berserk Thunder Art, his body emitted a burnt smell, together with the upgrade of Scorching Hell. In addition to the 9-snake general's poisonous fog, the bloodthirsty plague, and the heavenly thunder divine guard's influence, Gu Tianba finally couldn't hold on any longer. No matter how strong he was, in the face of this series of continuous attacks, he finally fell to the ground. No, I don't want to die. Gu Tianba couldn't believe that Ling Xiao could kill him without Xiao Jin's help. This series of attacks caught him off guard, and he didn't even have the chance to react. It was too terrifying. Hydrolysis. Suddenly, Gu Tianba let out a roar. His body turned into a stream of water and seeped into the ground. Gu Tianba's martial spirit is actually a huge water ball. It doesn't look like much, but at the critical moment it can really save a life. This was something that Ling Xiao didn't expect. However, he absolutely couldn't allow Gu Tianba to escape. Here, it was already very difficult to kill Gu Tianba. If this guy escaped, it would inevitably leave behind a disaster. Fortunately, Ling Xiao still had a way. He sneered, and a huge bronze coffin emerged from the void. Then, hundreds of chains engraved with powerful inscriptions flew out from the coffin. Even though Gu Tianba had turned into an elemental body at this time, he still couldn't defeat the terrifying sealing chains. He was directly tied up and then dragged into the bronze coffin. This bronze coffin and chains were obtained by Ling Xiao from the 5th floor of the ghost prison of the 8 Immortal Mountain. It was used by the founder of the 8 Immortal Mountain, the 8 Immortal Old Ancestor. Its quality is definitely an emperor weapon. It's an existence above a spiritual weapon. Every time Ling Xiao used it, he would suffer a backlash and his cultivation would be partially sealed. Then his cultivation speed would rapidly decline. But at this time he had to use it. Anyway, even if he suffered a backlash, he would be able to recover in about half a month. During this process, he could still improve his cultivation through fighting. In any case, ordinary cultivation was no longer of much significance to him. During this period of time, his cultivation improvement was basically carried out in battles. Retreat. After killing Gu Tianba, Ling Xiao didn't stay any longer. He called Xiao Jin, who had killed another martial artist at the 11th floor of the Yin-Yang realm, and fled. A man and a bird broke through the air and rushed toward the gate of Thunder City. No one chased after them, partly because of fear. Also, it was because there was no need to. The formation of Thunder City was definitely not something that Ling Xiao could break in a short time. Ling Xiao definitely couldn't escape. In the void, General Zilei, who had already arrived at the scene, looked at all of this coldly. He had to come. Now he was bearing infamy. In order to protect him, the royal family had shed all pretense of cordiality with many martial artists. Therefore, he had to kill Ling Xiao to defend the dignity of the royal family. At the same time, he was also toying with his own humiliation. "Commander, why don't I do it?" General Zilei said from the side. "No need. I want to kill this Ling Xiao personally, in front of everyone," General Zilei said indifferently. The anger in his heart had risen to the extreme. One had to know that his cultivation was on par with the Lightning Seigneur. His existence was the backbone of the Chen nation. However, he was bitten by Ling Xiao, causing him to become a sinner. How could he vent his anger? He could only find Ling Xiao. He wanted to tear Ling Xiao into pieces. That kid won't escape, right? General Lei frowned. Although he was very confident in the formation of Thunder City, Ling Xiao was still an existence that was difficult to predict with common sense. He can't escape. Do you think the formation of Thunder City is just for show? General Lei said disdainfully. However, as soon as he said this, his expression became extremely awkward. This was because Ling Xiao and Xiao Jin had already rushed out of Thunder City, destroyed the huge gate of Thunder City, and arrived outside the city. Damn it! Someone must be helping them. General Lei was slapped in the face, and he was even more annoyed. With a flash, he seemed to have turned into a purple lightning bolt and rushed towards Ling Xiao. His speed was extremely fast. In an instant, he had already landed more than 10 meters in front of Ling Xiao. He looked at Ling Xiao coldly, his face arrogant and angry. It's over, it's over. Although he has created a miracle, he was still a step away. Ling Xiao and his golden pet defeated those who were chasing him and even killed Gu Tianba and the patriarch of the Fengli family. He almost destroyed the 3 great families. In my opinion, the 8 great families will become 5 great families in the future. Chapter 2683. Why do I have a feeling that Ling Xiao can still successfully escape? Impossible, unless he can kill General Purple Thunder. If even General Purple Thunder is defeated by him, I believe that Thunder City will be in chaos. The dragon cult will not let go of such a good opportunity. At that time, he will definitely be able to escape. But is that possible? General Purple Thunder is not Gu Tianba. He is much stronger than him. Perhaps, but I still hope that a miracle can appear. General Purple Thunder stood there and looked at Ling Xiao coldly. The huge halberd in his hand was constantly jumping with purple lightning. He did not use his martial soul because he felt that there was no need. If he had to use his martial soul to kill Ling Xiao, he felt that he was too incompetent. A cold light flickered in his eyes. Purple lightning danced in his pupils. Are you going to commit suicide, or am I going to do it? General Purple Thunder looked at Ling Xiao indifferently. He found it hard to understand how such an insignificant kid could kill so many important people in the Qin nation. But today Ling Xiao must die. There was no possibility of survival. Ling Xiao looked at General Purple Thunder. He knew very well that this was the most terrifying opponent he had encountered since coming to Thunder City. He glanced at Xiao Jin and said, "Don't make a move first. If I can't do it, then you go. You must be steady, accurate, and ruthless. I will make him expose his flaws." Ling Xiao knew that it was impossible for him to defeat General Purple Thunder. The only things he could rely on were the Tyrant Martial Soul and the Butterfly Lady Soul. The Tyrant Martial Soul could only be used in a situation of absolute death. The Butterfly Lady Soul was used to guard against the 14th Prince or the Lightning Seigneur. They were all killing moves that could not be used until the last moment. Of course, the Heavenly Dragon power, Divine Phoenix power, and White Tiger power that extended from the Tyrant Martial Soul could still be used. But even so, he was still not a match for this guy. He was very strong, so he knew how strong his opponent was. But did he not dare to fight just because he was strong? That was not Ling Xiao's style. "Boss, why don't I force him to expose his flaws?" Xiao Jin said. "You're very strong, but your attack style is too monotonous. There's no need to discuss this matter. I'll do it. Help me keep an eye on that guy, but also be careful of other people's sneak attacks." The other person Ling Xiao was referring to was naturally General Lan Lei. This General Lan Lei was stronger than Gu Tianba. He was definitely a formidable opponent for Xiao Jin. If General Lan Lei suddenly attacked, then Xiao Jin would not be able to help him. When that time came, he would have to work hard himself. He had long thought about the situation today, but whether he could escape with his life depended on whether he could turn the tide. The male and female 8 immortal swords appeared in Ling Xiao's hands. The surging and biting cold sword intent was instantly released. Wherever the sword went, countless people trembled in fear. In the sky, the onlooking martial artists on the city wall were sweating for Ling Xiao, but they couldn't help but admire Ling Xiao. He was still so calm in the face of General Purple Thunder. Could it be that this person, this brat, was not afraid at all? The demon dragon envoy of the dragon cult originally wanted to try to save Ling Xiao. But at this moment, he shook his head helplessly. What a pity. If it's to save someone from Gu Tianba, I can still do it. But if General Purple Thunder attacks, this brat will definitely die. When he sighed, General Purple Thunder's expression was also ugly. Ling Xiao was not frightened by his aura, but still wanted to fight him head-on? Was there something wrong with this brat's brain? Your cultivation should be at the peak of Yin-Yang Realm level 10. They didn't see it, they were stupid. But do you think that you have the right to challenge me with that little bit of cultivation? Yes, you killed Weino Yuan and Gu Tianba, but compared to me, they're just two ants. General Purple Thunder looked at Ling Xiao and said loudly. His voice was full of pride and disdain. Of course I know, but how would I know if I can kill you if I don't try? Surrendering to you means death. If I fight you to the death, I might be able to create a miracle. Why do I feel like I'm lucky today? Ling Xiao looked at General Purple Thunder. His opponent's strength did give him great pressure, but he had no choice now. The only thing he could do was to fight. Those people are good at talking, but they all died very quickly. Their ability to talk is stronger than their strength. What about you? Is it the same for you? Ling Xiao sneered and instantly transformed into the purple lightning thunderbolt. At that moment, the sword essence released by the 8 immortal swords in his hands became stronger. Brat, you're really annoying. Fine, I'll try first. Let's see if you're qualified to make me use my real strength. I'll play with you first. Anyway, you can't escape today. As soon as General Z Lei finished speaking, he leaned forward like a bolt of lightning and appeared in front of Ling Xiao in an instant. He waved the long halberd in his hand and swept it towards Ling Xiao fiercely. If this attack really hit, it was likely that Ling Xiao would be directly cut in half at the waist. The long halberd whistled, and the wind was fierce. Ling Xiao's expression was extremely serious. The 8 immortal swords in his right hand stabbed out. Ghost-slaying dragon. Then the 8 immortal swords in his left hand stabbed out. Ghost War Emperor. The top Jade grade martial skill was faster than the first heaven of a mortal grade martial skill. Fierce sword essence and dense killing intent were suddenly released. Boom! With a loud bang, the wind exploded. Huge chunks of earth were lifted from the surrounding ground. Ling Xiao frowned. His body was like a kite with a broken string. He flew back hundreds of steps and then smashed into the city wall. However, he quickly stood up. He looked coldly at General Purple Thunder in the distance with a cold heart. General Purple Thunder's attack was too overbearing. Not only was it powerful, but the long halberd also contained a destructive chi. Once it entered the enemy's body, it would be a destructive blow to the enemy's body. Fortunately, Ling Xiao also mastered the destructive fighting intent, so this time it was not too serious. But his hands had begun to tremble, and he felt a sharp pain in his hand. And this was in the state of beast soul transformation. If he was in human form, he would have been destroyed by the other party in one move. As expected, General Purple Thunder is too powerful. Ling Xiao can't be his match at all. Sigh, he was just one step away. I'm afraid the next attack will kill Ling Xiao. When people saw this scene, they sighed in their hearts. General Purple Thunder was indeed General Purple Thunder. On the surface, he was the 4th strongest expert in the Qin state. Although he was not as famous as the Thunder Sage, in terms of combat strength, he should not be much weaker than the Thunder Sage. Even if Ling Xiao could kill Gu Tianba against General Purple Thunder, he still had no chance of winning. Even those who were full of hope for Ling Xiao lowered their heads at this time. Xiao Jin even transformed into a golden crow, ready to help. However, at this moment, General Blue Thunder attacked. Evil creature, your opponent is me. Chapter 2684. Xiao Jin glanced at General Lanlei. Although he wanted to help Ling Xiao, He knew how terrifying General Lanley was. Why don't I kill him first, and then help boss? Thinking of this, Xiao Jin flew to the side and left the main battlefield to Ling Xiao and General Lanley. It seems that you really can't do it. You can't even take one move from me. Why are you still so arrogant? General Lanley was so arrogant that he didn't even look at Ling Xiao. It was as if Ling Xiao didn't exist in his eyes. Ha ha ha! A warrior at the late stage of the 11th level of Hell in Turn 1 Yin-Yang Realm couldn't even kill a warrior at the peak of the 10th level of Hell in one move. You're still shamelessly saying that others can't do it. You're really shameless. Ling Xiao laughed out loud. After this collision, Ling Xiao wasn't afraid. Instead, he was more confident. His battle intent was stronger than before. His sword essence was sharper than before. His killing intent was more terrifying than before. This guy still doesn't want to admit defeat. I don't know what other moves he has. Otherwise, he's just talking tough. Of course, people hoped that Ling Xiao could explode with powerful combat strength and even defeat General Lanley. They were very unhappy about General Lanley colluding with the Devil's Shadow sect. They couldn't get the royal family to punish General Lanley, so they could only hope that Ling Xiao could kill him. Although the probability was extremely low, they were still willing to try. You dare to say that I'm shameless? Let me tell you, this isn't a competition, but a fight. There's no fairness. Do you think I'm a fool? General Lanley looked at Ling Xiao with disdain. Now I'll give you a chance. Come and attack. I'd like to see how far you can go. Even if I can't defeat you, I'll make you suffer before I die. Ling Xiao gritted his teeth. You want to hurt me? Nonsense. Today, if you can get within 1 meter of me, I'll let you go. This general will let you go. General Lanley looked at Ling Xiao proudly. Are you serious? Ling Xiao asked. Of course. So many people saw it. Do you think I would lie? General Purple Thunder said with a nod. Then you'll lose for sure. As soon as Ling Xiao finished speaking, he took a step forward with his right foot. In that instant, the sword chi condensed into a solid form, radiating with a sinister aura. The sword intent seemed to materialize at the same time, cutting General Purple Thunder. General Purple Thunder couldn't help but frown. He actually felt a slight pain. Although the pain was as light as a mosquito bite, it still made him feel very uncomfortable. Ling Xiao bent his legs and leaned his body. The sword was still accumulating and increasing. At this moment, it was as if he had transformed into a true sword demon, causing others to fear him. It was terrifying. Suddenly he rushed out. In that instant, the sword rose to its peak. It swept towards General Purple Thunder like a biting cold wind. Ridiculous! General Purple Thunder didn't wait any longer. His body moved slightly, and the halberd in his hand suddenly pierced out. Shadow martial technique. Shadow sword demon. In an instant, Ling Xiao's 2 swords pierced out at the same time, tearing the void apart. The sound of the swords was extremely overbearing. The powerful and radiant sword light pierced out from the 2 8 immortal swords at the same time. Although there were 2 swords, it was only one move. The power of the 2 swords in combination increased a lot. The black sword Shadow fiercely pounced on General Purple Thunder. Die! General Purple Thunder snorted. The halberd violently pierced out with great power. He tried to destroy the black sword Shadow. However, this time, things weren't as easy as he had imagined. He knew he had underestimated his opponent, so his face became gloomier. 70% of my power! General Purple Thunder roared and increased his power by 20%. The halberd's power suddenly increased. In an instant, the Shadow Sword Demon was completely destroyed. However, the battle didn't end there. Ling Xiao's attack still didn't stop. Dual-wielding Shadow Sword Demon. Black Immortal Descends. Black Immortal Descends was a second heaven immortal grade martial technique, which was at the same level as the Heavenly Thunder Guards. Ling Xiao had been cultivating for such a long time, but he had only reached the small success stage. However, its power was comparable to the shadow sword demon at the great fulfillment realm. 2 swords, 2 moves, pierced out at the same time. In his right hand, the terrifying shadow sword demon condensed again, and the gloomy chi continued to spread. In his left hand, the free and easy black immortal descended from the sky and looked coldly at the enemy in front of him. His eyes seemed to contain an extremely powerful sword essence, which was so cold that it could freeze everything. This time, Ling Xiao actually knocked General Purple Thunder's halberd away. General Purple Thunder's face changed drastically. He suddenly struck out with both hands. Purple Thunder Flame Palm. The terrifying palm wind turned into roaring divine thunder and instantly destroyed everything in front of it. It blasted toward Ling Xiao and hit Ling Xiao's 2 swords. Then General Purple Thunder quickly retreated and grabbed the halberd that flew away. Boom! The palm wind and the sword chi collided, and a terrifying shock wave was generated outside Thunder Capital. The city walls even shook violently because of it. In the violent storm of power, Ling Xiao suddenly charged out again. Sky Tyrant, power of the Sky Dragon, dual-wielding, shadow sword demon, black immortal descends. An even more powerful and terrifying move was displayed. General Purple Thunder did not expect that his purple thunder flame palm would be torn apart by Ling Xiao's 2 swords. Ling Xiao was even able to penetrate the shackles of power and attack him. The Sky Dragon roared in the void. The power of Ling Xiao's move increased greatly. The 2 swords, carrying the Slaughter Sword Essence and the Destruction Sword Essence, attacked General Purple Thunder in the form of the Shadow Sword Demon and the Black Immortal. At that moment, Ling Xiao seemed to have turned into an invincible Sword Venerable, controlling the power of the entire space. General Purple Thunder hastily met the attack, but was forced to take 2 steps back, and a bloody wound appeared on his body. The collision this time, Ling Xiao was clearly a notch higher. Not only did I come within 1 meter of you, but I also hurt you. General, can you fulfill your promise? Can I leave now? Ling Xiao looked at General Purple Thunder, and there was a hint of mockery in his words. Of course, he knew that with the shamelessness of the other party, it was impossible for him to keep his promise. However, he still had to say these words. He wanted everyone to know what kind of person General Purple Thunder was. General Purple Thunder looked coldly at Ling Xiao. After a long silence, he said, "You hid your strength, kid. You have ulterior motives. However, with your current strength, you are indeed qualified to fight with me. But that's all. You only forced me to take 2 steps back and left a faint wound on my body. And I haven't really made my move yet." He completely avoided talking about his previous words. Instead, he increased his strength. Behind him, a ball of terrifying purple lightning appeared. It was a ball of lightning full of killing, violence, and coldness. It was a source of power that made people despair. Chapter 2685. Boom! The General of Purple Thunder swung his halberd, and the purple lightning behind him transformed into halberds made of purple lightning. There were 10 of them in total. Every single one of them was purple in color, and there was lightning dancing around them. They were filled with a terrifying aura of slaughter and destruction. That's the destructive Purple Thunder halberd. Among the crowd, there were people with good eyesight who knew what General Purple Thunder's terrifying move was. The destructive Purple Thunder halberd is rumored to be General Purple Thunder's strongest ability. I didn't expect Ling Xiao to use it. It seems that we've underestimated Ling Xiao. His ability may be more terrifying and powerful than we thought. But General Purple Thunder has used all his strength. Can Ling Xiao continue? People didn't want to leave. They were all watching the battle carefully. Even Xiao Jin and General Blue Thunder couldn't help but look over. They didn't want to continue fighting. Xiao Jin had planned to kill General Blue Thunder first, and then help Ling Xiao. However, he was surprised by General Blue Thunder's strength. He couldn't take down General Blue Thunder immediately, so he was worried about Ling Xiao. As a result, their battle became a foil. Most of the people's attention was on the other battle. You said I was qualified to make you use all your strength, but I'm sorry. I'm just playing around. Ling Xiao looked at General Purple Thunder indifferently. The truth was not as easy as he said. If he didn't make a breakthrough, he would never be able to defeat General Purple Thunder. But people had to be confident, didn't they? Faced with a battle that he couldn't choose, Ling Xiao could only make up his mind and fight to the end. If he didn't believe in himself, who would? He could feel how terrifying the 10 destructive purple thunder halberds were. But so what? What he had to do didn't change. Lava Cerberus, General of 9 Snake, Dominating Blood, Demonic Dragon, Jade Rabbit, Black Striped Tiger. Release them. As Ling Xiao's voice rang out, 5 types of terrifying beasts began to appear behind him. They were his 5 beast souls. They had all turned into martial souls to help him, and he was still in the transformation of the purple thunderbolt. It was as if he had 6 beast souls supporting him at the same time. His strength began to skyrocket. It was at least 5 or 6 times stronger than before. The sword intent contained in the 2-8 immortal swords in his hands was even more terrifying. Although the crowd was far away, they could still feel the terrifying aura emanating from Ling Xiao's body. They couldn't help but get excited. Ling Xiao really surprised them. When they thought that he couldn't do it, he once again made them look forward to it. What kind of physique does this kid have? How can there be so many martial spirits? They all look like beast martial spirits. Could they be the legendary beast god martial artists? Can a beast god martial artist possess multiple beast souls? I've never heard of it before. Not only were the spectators in the distance surprised, but even the opponent, General Purple Thunder, felt a trace of pressure. He could clearly sense that Ling Xiao's current strength was probably comparable to a martial artist at the middle stage of the 11th level of the Yin-Yang realm. They might even be able to defeat him. Fortunately, he was a late-stage cultivator. Moreover, he was stronger than an ordinary late-stage martial artist. Kid, you've really surprised me. With your current strength, you are indeed barely qualified to fight with me. Otherwise, if I kill you so easily, I will be a little disappointed. Could it be that General Purple Thunder wants to win by talking? Don't you think you're talking too much? Ling Xiao looked at General Purple Thunder indifferently. At this moment, he actually had the confidence to defeat his opponent. This was because he felt that his cultivation, which had been sealed by using the Emperor weapon, seemed to be loosening. Perhaps General Purple Thunder was giving him too much pressure. This loosening might even lead to a breakthrough in his cultivation. Moreover, he really felt that General Purple Thunder was talking too much. In the end, he was just saying that Ling Xiao wasn't qualified to fight with him. However, he hadn't been able to hurt Ling Xiao until now. It was really funny. Then you can go to hell. I guarantee that after this move, you'll die without a complete corpse. General Purple Thunder was very unhappy. Being ridiculed by such a kid, he felt uncomfortable all over. I'll just treat your words as farts. Anyway, they don't count. Ling Xiao said disdainfully. Die. Purple Thunder. Halberd transformation. Kill. General Purple Thunder was enraged again. The purple thunder all over his body instantly turned into terrifying purple halberds and flew toward Ling Xiao. These purple thunder halberds were not only extremely fast, but also revealed a strong killing intent and destructive intent. As a result, the space around the halberds was torn apart inch by inch, like glass being destroyed. Terrifying. Looking at the purple halberds, people couldn't help but shudder in their hearts. Those halberds, like the magic treasures used by the thunder god who descended from the thunder region, revealed an incomparably sacred and terrifying power. It was as if they could destroy the world in an instant. Ling Xiao held 2-8 immortal swords in his hands. Behind him, the 5 beast souls exerted their strength together and integrated their power into the 2 swords. The 2 swords even began to emit an ear-piercing sword sound. The sound made many people's heads hurt. When the purple thunder halberds were in front of Ling Xiao, the sword in Ling Xiao's hand finally pierced out. The same move, Shadow Sword Demon and Black Immortal Descending, erupted at the same time. But this time, not only did he have the power of the Sky Dragon, but also the power of the 5 beast souls. Of course, the power was imaginable. At that moment, the whole space seemed to have turned gray, which made people feel very disharmonious. Those purple thunder halberds shattered under the terrifying sword aura and then dissipated. Ling Xiao's sword pressed forward with indomitable will. After piercing through those halberds, it didn't stop because his target was General Purple Thunder. General Purple Thunder frowned. Obviously, he was very surprised that Ling Xiao could break his attack. But it was just a surprise. He was still very disdainful of Ling Xiao's attack. The halberd in his hand suddenly bloomed with a bright purple thunderlight and then smashed down hard, wanting to smash Ling Xiao directly to the ground. Purple lightning exploded from within his body, causing people to tremble in fear. Even the surrounding air was burning under the purple thunder. Bang! The terrifying halberd blocked Ling Xiao's sword blade and repelled Ling Xiao again. After all, in terms of strength, Ling Xiao was still inferior. The previous injury was just an accident because I underestimated you. But from this moment on, you can forget about hurting me. From the moment my destructive purple thunder halberd was created, I had the perfect defense, the most powerful attack. If you can't break my destructive purple thunder halberd, you can only be tortured. General Purple Thunder's arrogance attacked again. Maybe it was because he repelled Ling Xiao that made him arrogant again. But he didn't realize that this time, Ling Xiao only retreated a dozen steps before stopping. Chapter 2686. Ling Xiao could feel that the cultivation seal in his body had been broken. His cultivation had even climbed to the peak of the 10th level of the Yin-Yang realm. He was only one step away from breaking through to the 11th level of the Yin-Yang realm. Once he reached that level of cultivation, General Purple Thunder would no longer be his opponent. As the hope grew, Ling Xiao's fighting spirit also grew stronger. He had been stopped by General Purple Thunder and had to fight, but now he didn't want to leave. He really didn't want to leave Thunder City without breaking through his cultivation. If I can hurt you once, I can hurt you a second time. General Purple Thunder, you're too arrogant, so you can't see that my strength is constantly increasing. I thought I couldn't defeat you and just wanted to escape. But now, I think I might be able to defeat you. Top Lightning Battle Physique, Blood Thunder Possession. Top Lava Battle Physique, Lava Possession. As he roared, the surface of Ling Xiao's body was covered with blood-red lightning and scorching lava. At this moment, his combat strength rose again. Many people couldn't help but shout at this scene. The surprises that Ling Xiao had given them were too many. Time and time again, they were filled with emotions. However, Ling Xiao knew that it wasn't over yet. He had already used the Sky Dragon Martial Soul. Next, it was time to use the Divine Phoenix power. A loud and clear cry of a phoenix rang out. In the sky, there seemed to be a sky dragon and a divine phoenix flying and dancing, then merged into Ling Xiao's body. Ling Xiao's strength was still increasing. Then let me try again. How strong is your purple thunder halberd of destruction? Shadow martial technique, Shadow Sword Demon, transformative state. Just as Ling Xiao was fighting with General Purple Thunder, Ling Xiao's move was upgraded again. It finally reached the transformative state. Its power increased several times. The two swords cried together, and the entire space trembled. What? General Purple Thunder's face became very ugly, and there was even a trace of fear in his eyes. He continued to brandish the halberd in his hand, intending to send Ling Xiao flying like the previous time. At the very least, he had to force him back. However, crack! Then something unexpected happened. With a crisp sound, the halberd in General Purple Thunder's hand cracked. This scene made the onlookers' hearts jump to their throats. General Purple Thunder's eyes trembled violently. "Break for me!" Ling Xiao roared, and the halberd was shattered like glass by the two swords. That was a divine grade spirit artifact on the same level as the 8 immortal swords. Yet it was shattered so easily. General Purple Thunder was shocked. However, Ling Xiao's attack had already arrived. It was unstoppable, as if it was the blade of a demon god. It was unstoppable. Seeing this scene, everyone was dumbfounded. General Purple Thunder's weapon was broken. The divine grade spiritual weapon, which had accompanied General Purple Thunder for dozens of years, was shattered directly. Was this a dream? What a terrifying young man! What a powerful swordsman! No wonder people say that swordsmen have the strongest attacks in the world. I didn't believe it before, but now I believe it. Ling Xiao is too powerful. Yeah, we almost forgot that his cultivation is only at the peak of the 10th level of hell. He is far from General Purple Thunder. Can we be blamed? It seems that they are evenly matched. Is General Purple Thunder unworthy of his name? Or is Ling Xiao too powerful, too talented, too powerful? No one knew the answer to this question. General Purple Thunder couldn't answer them, because at this moment he didn't look good. He had been arrogant and didn't treat Ling Xiao as an opponent, but now he had to face the fact that his weapon was destroyed. Ling Xiao's attack was real. What a fast sword! What a sharp sword essence! I can't dodge it. General Purple Thunder was an expert. He knew how powerful his opponent's sword was. Previously, he had despised Gu Tianba's incompetence for being killed by Ling Xiao. But at this moment, he didn't think so. Even he couldn't dodge such a sword, let alone Gu Tianba. But would it end like this? Of course not. The gap in strength couldn't be made up by some auxiliary skills. General Purple Thunder's face was gloomy. He moved his palms up and down. Without his weapon, he still had the Purple Thunder martial soul. Purple Thunder roared crazily. 10 destructive Purple Thunder halberds rushed toward Ling Xiao, trying to completely block Ling Xiao's sword. Boom! The collision of the sword and the halberds caused a terrifying energy war between heaven and earth. The purple and red lights reflected each other so brightly that many people were temporarily blinded. They couldn't see what was happening. The surrounding aura was full of destruction and killing intent, but no one knew where it came from. Finally, the collision ended. The two figures retreated from the center of the shining light. Everyone stared fixedly at them. They all wanted to know what had happened with this attack. Puff! General Purple Thunder spat out a mouthful of blood. The armor on his body was broken inch by inch. Terrifying bloody wounds covered his body. Drops of blood kept dripping. This scene was simply a ghastly sight. However, strangely enough, Ling Xiao was not injured at all. He just looked a little weak. Could it be that Ling Xiao won? Impossible. How could he be unharmed under General Purple Thunder's attack? Many people did notice that the jade rabbit beast soul behind Ling Xiao had disappeared. At the critical moment, the jade rabbit beast soul released the jade formula to protect Ling Xiao, but it exhausted its energy and damaged its soul core. It had to return to Ling Xiao's body to recuperate. General Purple Thunder, you are indeed the General Purple Thunder. If it were someone else with the same cultivation, they would have died under my sword. Ling Xiao felt a little regretful in his heart. That attack just now seemed to have gathered all of his strength, and everything was so smooth. At the moment when he stabbed General Purple Thunder, in order to make the effect stronger, he even infused the power of the white tiger. The only thing that didn't work was the butterfly lady's soul and the power of the universe of domination. Ah! After a long silence, General Purple Thunder burst out with a shocking roar. The wounds on his body were healing quickly. He stared at Ling Xiao and said with the coldest voice in the world, "How dare you hurt me? How dare you hurt me? It seems like I have underestimated you. You are qualified for me to use my full strength." His words made the crowd sigh. I'm afraid Ling Xiao is done for. Such a powerful attack. But it didn't cause any serious damage to General Purple Thunder. No wonder he is the strongest in the Heavenly Thunder Army. If he uses his full strength, how terrifying will he be? Chapter 2687. Qualifications. You always talk about qualifications, as if you have a big advantage. Die. Don't you think your words are ridiculous? Looking at General Purple Thunder, Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with strong disgust. This person was really ridiculous and annoying. His cultivation was much higher than Ling Xiao's, but he didn't have any advantage in the whole process. He even said that he was giving in to Ling Xiao. Just this mouth alone was enough to give Ling Xiao a reason to completely defeat him. Ridiculous? No, you'll soon understand what I mean. Purple Thunder Martial Soul Fusion. General Purple Thunder didn't expect Ling Xiao to force him to this extent, forcing him to use his last resort. The violent Purple Thunder martial spirit instantly rushed into his body. Then his entire skin turned purple. Terrifying lightning danced on his skin. At this moment, he was like a real thunder god. If that was all, it would only be a change in appearance. But that wasn't the case. As the martial souls fused, General Purple Thunder's aura started to rise rapidly. It even gave people an illusion that the one standing there was no longer General Purple Thunder, but the powerful Thunder God and Supreme Lightning. Boom! A terrifying roar exploded from General Purple Thunder's body, and then it broke through the clouds, completely shattering the dense fog in the sky. At this moment, his aura rose to the peak of Yin-Yang Realm Level 11. Although this wasn't his real cultivation, it was only because he had fused with the Purple Thunder Martial Soul that his strength seemed to have reached that level. But it was still terrifying. This aura was too powerful and terrifying. It could even destroy a martial artist's confidence in an instant. General Purple Thunder, this should be your true strength. To think that I thought Ling Xiao would have a chance. Now it seems that General Purple Thunder is just playing, and Ling Xiao has no hope at all. In the crowd, the demon dragon envoy of the dragon cult sighed and felt that he was ridiculous. Indeed, Ling Xiao will definitely die. This was what everyone thought. Even Xiao Jin was deeply worried about Ling Xiao. However, with General Lan Lei holding him back, he couldn't go over to help. General Purple Thunder, who was at the late stage of the 11th level of Hell in Yin-Yang Realm, was already terrifying enough. In fact, anyone with a discerning eye could see that although Ling Xiao had resisted, General Purple Thunder still had the upper hand overall. Now, General Purple Thunder's strength had risen to the terrifying peak of the 11th level of Hell. Ling Xiao might not be able to block any of his attacks. Sure enough, miracles were created by gods. It was impossible for ordinary people to create them. Ling Xiao's brows were tightly knitted together. Indeed, after the other party had fused with his martial soul, his battle prowess had increased explosively, and he was almost unable to contend against him, unless he used the butterfly lady's soul and the Overlord Universe's power. But was it really time for him to use his trump card? Was there any other way to deal with him? In his heart, he was really unwilling to do so. In the crowd, the remaining martial artists of the three great clans all revealed gloating expressions when they saw this scene. Finally, Ling Xiao is finally going to die. What a terrifying demon. However, as General Purple Thunder's colleague, General Lan Lei was extremely emotional. This kid can actually force the powerful General Purple Thunder to such an extent. This is something that even I can't do. Even if he dies, he should be proud of it. At this moment, no one felt that Ling Xiao had even the slightest chance of winning. The moment General Purple Thunder's battle prowess soared, people seemed to have seen Ling Xiao's death. General Purple Thunder also looked coldly at Ling Xiao. He was no longer in a sorry state and fearful state. Once again, he regained his prideful expression. He looked down at Ling Xiao in a condescending manner and said indifferently, "You're the first person in the entire Qin country who can make me fuse with the Purple Thunder martial soul. So, you don't have to feel that you died unjustly. On the contrary, you can be proud of it." Ling Xiao didn't speak. He only looked indifferently at General Purple Thunder. His Tai Chi eye was operating crazily. General Purple Thunder's arrogance once again gave him a chance. He put away one of the 8 immortal swords, leaving only one of them. Then he seemed to have completely merged with the surrounding space. At that moment he moved. Suddenly he moved. His speed was so slow that it made people anxious. The long sword in his hand was aimed at General Purple Thunder's chest. But how could he hit with such speed? It seemed that this sword was simple and unadorned. There was nothing special about it. If there was something special about it, it would be that it was too slow. It was even slower than an ordinary warrior's attack. It could even be said that it was so ordinary that it was even inferior to Ling Xiao's previous attacks. General Purple Thunder sneered. "Are you planning to give up on yourself? I can understand you. Facing an enemy that you can't defeat, I'm afraid that's the only thing you can do." As he sneered, he gently raised his right hand. His right hand flashed with a purple-blue light and was about to grab the sword. In his opinion, such a slow sword, such an ordinary sword, such a laughable sword. What was there to be afraid of? It's time to end this. General Purple Thunder's smile bloomed again. However, this smile suddenly froze in the next moment. That sword move, which was so ordinary that it made people unable to raise any interest in it, changed in an instant. The sword that was originally so slow that it made people anxious suddenly sped up the moment General Purple Thunder's hand was about to touch Ling Xiao's sword. Moreover, the speed was increased to the extreme in an instant. Previously, it was so slow that it made people anxious. This moment, it was so fast that it made people surprised. The sword slashed General Purple Thunder's arm and pierced his chest. A gust of gloomy killing intent seeped out from the tip of the sword and filled General Purple Thunder's entire body. Oh no! General Purple Thunder felt that something was wrong. Thunder and lightning raged all over his body, and a terrifying aura burst out. His hands fiercely slapped toward Ling Xiao. Too late! Fast and slow sword essence. Shadow Sword Demon. The fast and slow sword essence was the sword essence that Ling Xiao had comprehended in the past. He had comprehended it at the White Tiger Storm meet on the White Tiger continent. After coming to the Black Tortoise continent, he had never used it. Today he used it because this move was more obscure. It was just a sword essence. Ordinary people would not associate him with Ling Xiao on the White Tiger continent. Moreover, this fast and slow sword essence was often unexpected. It allowed him to injure General Purple Thunder in an extremely unfavorable situation. Ling Xiao's face was calm and emotionless. As he spoke, his body completely merged with the sword light. He actually avoided General Purple Thunder's block in an instant. He continued to stab forward. Chi, a soft sound, but it made the hearts of countless people tremble. Because Ling Xiao's sword stabbed General Purple Thunder. It even pierced through the Purple Thunder protection and into General Purple Thunder's skin.